Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It's great to be here on a lovely Tuesday in New York City. Jam-packed, super stacked show. On today's program, six guests from around the world joining us today. Looking forward to it. Yesterday was a great one. Demetrius Johnson, Diego Lopez, Ben Askren. How great was that? And you may recall at the end of yesterday's show, I told you that the team was going to have an opportunity to watch The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And we had it. It was a fun little get-together, if you will. We all cuddled up, had some snacks, put it on the big screen. Felt quite honored. You know, everyone gets to go to these, these premieres and all this stuff. No. Here at the Ariel Helwani Show at Uncrowned, we get our own special screening. And so I'd like to offer some thoughts on what I witnessed. The film comes out on Friday. There's a review of the film on uncrowned.com right now by Ben Folks. And of course, it's about The Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr, the documentary that came out in 2002. Have a lot to say about it, and we'll be talking a lot about it on today's program and probably tomorrow as well. Why on today's program? Because the director of the film, Benny Safdie, is going to be joining us at 2:40. I'm so excited about this because I find him to be a fascinating guy. Spoiler, I thought the film was incredible. A different kind of guest, a brilliant human being who is very successful at a pretty young age, still in his 30s. We kind of share some similarities. There's a lot that I think we have in common. I'm really looking forward to this. So he'll join us at 2:40. Thoughts to come. Stand by for those. In about 8 minutes' time, we'll be joined by Mateusz Gamrot, who you know by now is going to be fighting Charles Oliveira on October the 11th. That's next weekend. He's replacing Rafael Fiziev in the main event of UFC Rio, the pride of Poland, getting his opportunity, the chance that he has been really dying for and asking for. And so looking forward to that very much. Following that interview, Pablo Sucupira is going to be joining us. He is the head coach of the Fighting Nerds. We've been talking a lot about the Fighting Nerds. If they were, overrated, if they'll be able to bounce back, what happened, what's the difference between this year, last year, et cetera, et cetera. We've been talking a lot about them. And to the members of the team, why don't we talk to the guy who put it all together, who's a brilliant coach, who deserves all the praise and success that he has received as of late, who recently became a father. And I'm looking forward. Oh, by the way, he was also at that Spaten Fight Night event this past weekend in which Wanderlei Silva got knocked out. So I think it's going to be a very interesting chat. Following that, JooSang Yoo, a.k.a. Zombie Jr., is going to be joining us. He returns to action this Saturday at UFC 320 against Daniel Santos. He made his UFC debut at UFC 316 after winning on Dana White looking for a fight in December. It was the show that Dana White was supposed to attend in South Korea, which is put on by the great Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. But then he had some issues. He couldn't fly. And it was the same weekend as the Colby Covington-Joaquin Buckley fight. And so if you recall, he talked about having a special viewing, all that stuff. Anyway, JooSang Yoo was picked up from that show, put in the UFC, had an incredible less than 60-second, 30 or so second win in his debut, and now returns to action and is on this card on Saturday. Very popular over in South Korea. A mentor of his, of course, is Chan Sung Jung. We'll talk to Zombie Jr. at about 2 o'clock. Benny Safdie at 2:40. Amir Khan, the great boxer, who represented Great Britain and, of course, Pakistan on the biggest of stages, who fought the likes of Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez and so many others, retired in 2022, has his own fight promotion, and they're putting on an event tomorrow in Nigeria. And so we'll talk to Amir Khan about that. And we'll round out the day with Tom Nolan, who was victorious this past weekend at UFC Perth. He's going to be joining us. It will be 5:30 in the morning in Brisbane, when he joins us, 3:30 our time. And it was very kind of him. I sent him a message thanking him for waking up early. And he said that he's been waiting for this message since 2014, which was a really nice thing to read. Made me feel a little bit old as well, but I appreciate how much it means to him. It blows me away, but I appreciate it, and I'm thankful and grateful for it. And so we look forward to talking to Big Train Tom Nolan, who competed this past Saturday and won via submission in the first round against Charlie Campbell. So that's the show right there, and a lot in between. We have a lot of news and notes to get to as well. Quick thoughts on the Smashing Machine. I will just say that film, and forgive me if I repeat this when Benny comes on, that documentary, which I saw in 2002 when I was a senior at Syracuse University via VHS, I still believe, till this day, you've heard me say it, it's the best MMA documentary of all time. And others have come, namely Fightville, I think is a great one as well. But I think Smashing Machine is the best because it was so early in MMA's history, and Mark Kerr was such a compelling character, and he was so open, and he was so willing to show all of his ups and downs on camera. And it was at a time where, MMA is less than 10 years old. This documentary ends up on HBO, and you're like, holy crap, HBO is showing anything related to MMA. This is huge. And then it's a guy, putting steroids in his body and high on drugs and having incredible highs and incredible lows, and it's Pride, and it's backstage, and it's Mark Coleman, and it's all this stuff. It's very raw. And I'm watching it as a very, very, very homesick, depressed, lonely student who just can't wait to get out of this place. And my only friend was fight sports, combat sports, MMA, boxing, pro wrestling. Like, those were my friends. And I would watch other things as well, but my Bills sucked, my Knicks sucked, got into soccer a little bit, would watch Arsenal, but it was fight sports. My Expos left, and I rewatched the documentary, as I said yesterday, before watching the film, and I was taken back to that time. And the documentary was almost like comfort food. It was like a warm blanket. It was like, wow, anything related to MMA. I couldn't go on YouTube. I couldn't look this stuff up. I couldn't like look up clips on Insta. These things didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist. Instagram didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. Twitter didn't exist. You had MySpace, and that was just a bunch of, friends and music and stuff. It was nothing. And so this was gold. Like, I didn't want it to end. And I always held it in such high regard, but I don't think I've seen it since the first or maybe second time I watched it right after. So I had this vision of it. And when you hear that The Rock is going to play, you're like, okay, will it feel like The Rock is playing Mark Kerr? As opposed to, like, can you suspend disbelief and escape to where you're watching Mark Kerr, if you know what I mean? And I felt like The Rock nailed it. I think The Rock did a fantastic job. And any chatter about him being nominated for awards and perhaps an Oscar, I think is very, very, very deserved. It's a brilliant movie. If you're an MMA fan, you will adore it. If you're an old school MMA fan, you will absolutely love it. If you're a new school MMA fan, you will love it. If you're just a regular non-sports, non-fight fan, just moviegoer, I think you will love it. Emily Blunt is incredible. The Rock is incredible. Dwayne Johnson is incredible. I can't recommend it enough. Shout out to Ryan Bader. Shout out to Bas Rutten. Shout out to Alexander Usyk. It's here's the best thing that I could say about the Smashing Machine. The best thing that I could say about the Smashing Machine is that it is the best MMA documentary of all time, and it is the best MMA film of all time. And that's the God's honest truth. Nothing comes close to that. Warrior was great, doesn't come close. Here Comes the Boom was great, doesn't come close. Nothing comes close to the film. And the doc, there is some competition with the doc. Fightville was great. The John Fitch doc was great. Like, there have been some good docs, but nothing quite like it. And rewatching it was fascinating as well. So yeah, it just kind of took me back to that time. I kind of get chills thinking about it. I was really depressed. I was really lonely, and these were my only escapes. And to think some 23 years later, it'd come out as a film, and The Rock is involved, who at the time was a superstar, and to see what it did for his career, how it reinvented him, and all the praise that he's getting. It's a wonderful story, and I'm so happy that Mark Kerr is around to be able to enjoy all of these accolades that he's getting. And I can tell you that tomorrow, Mark Kerr is going to be on the program, and I'm looking forward to that very, very much. So there's just, there's just a lot there, and I can't recommend it enough. It comes out on Friday. You should go out and see it. And you know me, I'm not the big, cinephile on the team. So when I say you should go out and see it, you should go out and see it. I don't waste those recommendations. We'll talk more about the film because the rest of the team saw it as well, and I'm looking forward to hearing their thoughts. I do want to let you know some unfortunate news at the top of the program. We were very much looking forward to Artem Lobov versus Zubaira Tukhugov. It was scheduled for this Friday, PFL event in Dubai. Unfortunately, we got the word this morning via the PFL that the fight has been canceled, and it's such a blow to the card because it was a really, really, it was a much publicized and much discussed, much talked about feud that they were able to put together this fight. And we all thought that, Lobov was maybe done. He came back and he was on the program. He was great on the show. And he posted on social media this morning that, he was in great shape. He was in great spirits. He was training yesterday, doing some wrestling, and clashed heads with his training partner, gushing blood. Doctors checked him out. He's got a flap and he can't fight. He was very apologetic to not only the fans, but the PFL, and most notably to Zubaira. Very apologetic, which I thought was respectful and notable. So that is some unfortunate news off the top. The card is still a great one. The two title fights, in particular, Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes, fantastic. Can't wait. They've done a great job of promoting it, but that is a bit of a blow to the card. Now, we move on to our first guest of the day, and the first guest of the day is someone who we saw last week on social media having the time of his life, having an incredible moment as he found out that he would, in fact, be replacing Rafael Fiziev against Charles Oliveira in Rio de Janeiro next weekend, October the 11th, against the legend Charles Oliveira. He's been asking for this opportunity. He has been the one in the lightweight division banging the drum, asking for a shot, asking for a ranked opponent, asking for a big name, a big opportunity. He finally gets it. Not his first main event, I believe his fourth, but at least in the UFC. He finally gets it against that big name that he has been seeking, and kudos to him. He's taking the fight on short notice. He is the pride of Poland, the one and only Mateusz Gamrot, who is kind enough to join us on this Tuesday. Hello, Mateusz. How are you, my friend? Thank you for coming on.
Hello, Ariel. Hello. Everything is great. How are you, man?
I'm doing great and very happy for you. Congratulations. So can I ask you, when you find out that Fiziev is out and now there's an opening, what is the first thing that you do? I see you tweeting and stuff like that, but are you doing stuff behind the scenes to try to get this fight?
This was a few days later when I get the fight, and it was super emotional. But exactly when I saw the Fiziev pull out, I wake up in the morning in Poland because I get the tickets to go to the Florida, and I was on my way to the plane. And so when I saw this information, the same moment I text my manager, "Hey, I am here. I'm going to the Florida. I am ready to jump in. I've been waiting all my life this opportunity, and I don't need it, Gamrot. Just strong mind and go forward."
And so were you told that the UFC was considering you? Were you getting any sort of feedback, or were you kind of left in the dark? Did you not know which direction they would go in?
The first moment I don't have answer. I just put pressure in the media. Only just I am ready. I was reacted what Charles Oliveira doing. I saw his interview. Like the first moment, he's not ready for my style. But when I post the picture with the lion has the most UFC bonuses in the UFC, is not ready to the grappler. So I think this was the final moment when I get the fight.
Who told you that you got it? Who was on the phone?
Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert told me he talked with Hunter that the deal is done and I get this fight. And bro, I was super excited because all my life and I've been hard training and waiting for this moment. A few later, when I win this fight, I asked UFC, hey, maybe this is the moment when I fight with Charles Oliveira. Jiu-Jitsu is my DNA, wrestling as well. So I wanna test myself, the most dangerous guy in the ground, So this gonna be epic fight for sure.
Oh my gosh, it's a great matchup, and I loved your reaction, and I think everyone else loved your reaction because we've seen you asking for these opportunities, banging the drum, like I said. And so to see the emotion of you finding out and to see how much it meant to you, can you even describe what you're feeling here as you are reacting to the news?
Oh, this exactly this with Zabor. This is my friend. We're going to the lunch. At the same moment, I saw the call from my manager, and bro, we need to stop it in the gas station because I know something's happened, and you see my reaction. This was pure life and pure happiness moment to me because, like I say, I get the huge name in the legend of MMA. Oliveira, of course, is one of the greatest in lightweight division, but I am more than ready to fight with him. I am not afraid to scramble with him in the ground, exchange punch in the fight. I have no pressure, bro. The God give me the conditioning to so. I'm going to the Rio and I wanna take his place.
And what about your weight? I mean, is this a tougher weight cut for you because you're taking the fight on short notice?
We find out. We find out in the Friday morning. But right now is not bad. It's like around I have around 25 pounds, something like that. So it's not bad.
How big were you when you got that call?
Same thing. Always I have good shape. I don't have too much weight, like up down up down. So I have like the same weight all the time. So I'm waiting for this weekend, and I think Thursday, Friday I will start cutting weight.
Okay. I had heard that there were talks of you fighting Nassim Sadikhov in November. So you were scheduled to fight not too far away. Is that accurate?
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Before this, I had fight with Nazim. This was also main event in UFC in November. But if you hear about the name like Oliveira, you can't never turn down this fight. He's the name like title fight or something like that. You always can say yes and go forward.
Of course. The only reason I bring that up is to suggest that fight is just a few weeks later. So it wasn't like you were just on the couch relaxing. You were starting to get ready for a fight not too far away, right?
The truth is, like I say, when Fiziev pulled out, I was the same day to the plane, go to Florida because I want to start my camp here. This was like 7 weeks before my first fight. But in Poland, I'm still training every day. Maybe this is not hard training and super high level, but I train every day. I am good shape. So this was not problem to take short notice.
You have never fought in Brazil. This will be your first time, so it's a big opportunity. Have you ever been to Brazil?
One time I've been to Brazil 10 years ago, 2015, when I won European trials, and I go there to IDCC World Championship, because I won 2 times European Championship in IDCC, and 2015 was Mundial IDCC there.
Okay, wow.
And I fought there with Lucas Replik.
How did you do?
Last, I lose, but with the points.
Okay, all right. But
this was good experience to me. I had 25 years old. I was just wrestler, and this time I compete with the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. So for me it was success because I won the European trials when nobody expect this. So for me it was the big success and great experience.
Did you know that you are 5-0, a perfect 5-0 against Brazilian fighters?
No.
I think you're undefeated against Brazilians.
This is good, but I don't know that. I don't know that.
So maybe the trend continues, is what I'm saying.
I hope so. I'm going to Rio and I give my best there, and I know that, and I feel this. I gonna win this fight. Because I am not afraid, I want to exchange punch with him, wrestling, scramble. My conditioning is good. I watched yesterday Oliveira fights against Sarukian. I watched with Ilya. I watched with everybody, So I know what I need to do in the cage. No pressure, just hands up and go forward. Oliveira say he wanna be aggressive this fight. He wanna start hard. So you can expect the same from me.
when this fight was announced, when it was announced that Charles was going to fight on this date, initially against Fiziev, a lot of people, including myself, were a little bit surprised that he was coming back so soon after getting knocked out the way in which he did against Ilya. Do you think that he is coming back too soon? Do you think that it's a mistake for him to come back this fast?
My coaches say same thing. This is a little bit too early, because but I am not his coaches. He's smart. He's one of the biggest the lightweight division. So he know what he doing. This is the Rio card. He doesn't fight long time in Brazil. Maybe that's why he take this fight. This is risk, of course, but I am not his coach, So we'll see what's happening in the cage.
That fight against Ilya was a relatively quick fight. He got knocked out in the first round. But are there any lessons that you took away from that? Is there any sort of tips or anything that you took away from that fight after watching?
This was short fight, quick but very intensive. He go forward, go fast. He tried to take him down. It was a little bit scrambling in the ground, but his chin doesn't look good, So when I watch his fight, I always see when from the beginning, the first round, he always go to aggressive and he start to be fast. So I expect the same. Like the gong will start and we step in the cage. The first moment from the first round is gonna be crazy.
And this is a 5-round fight, right?
Yes, 5 rounds.
Okay. And obviously the atmosphere is going to be great. Everything is, he's one of the biggest stars and the most beloved fighters coming out of Brazil. I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are a fan of his, that you used to wake up and watch him when you were in Europe. Is that true?
Yes, always. I sometimes I wake up in the morning and I watch some fights, not all fights, but when I see my favorite fighters on big fights, so always I wake up and I watch this fight. I know I go to the Brazil, I will fight with Charles and I will fight against all Brazilian fans in the arena. I expect this gonna be boo, but I think this gonna be give me more energy. This gonna be my team versus all Brazil. The same moment was when I fought with Arman Sarukian. When I go to the arena, I saw only Armenian fans and I heard only the boo, but no problem. There's gonna be more energy and more motivation to finish this fight.
I kind of feel like you like that now. Like you want this energy.
Of course, I like it. Of course, like that, bro. Kurva, I can't wait this. Every day I wake up, I crying, but crying. This is my motivation. This is like extra energy, extra vibes, because this is, bro, one of the biggest fight in my life. I know how is the risk, but if I past Oliveira in the next weekend, bro, this is gonna be big open door my MMA.
Yeah. Are you actually crying? Is that like a literal, or like you're saying like you're very emotional going into the fight?
Like emotional, but this is the true emotion from inside my body. This is like everything what I need in my life. This is this fight and this opportunity. So this is the emotion. This is the crying, but this is like the motivation crying. Like I don't have my family here, my kids. I left this my family in Poland, but everything's what I talk with there or some things. This is like extra vibes, extra energy for me, So I think this is the plus.
When you were just getting excited over there, did you say kurwa? Like kurwa? Did you say that?
Kurwa.
What does
that mean?
That means like let's go, like it's a very excited thing in Polish, right?
Yeah. This is a lot of means, a lot of context, whatever you want, but this context, this is like I am super excited and I wanna this and I am ready to go.
I love it. I could feel the energy coming off the screen. You were talking about your
bro. Today I did my first sparring session in American Top Team because first week I need to good acclimatization. I did 5 rounds, high pace, bro, non-stop action, everything, and bro, I am super happy after my first sparring here. Probably the Thursday on Friday will be the last session, and then Saturday I go to the Brazil, and I know right now that I am ready this fight.
I love it. Have you talked to your friend Dustin Poirier about Charles?
Yeah, I talked with him. I asked him about the corner. I expect that he will come with me, but he has family travel and he can't. But he told me some tips. how I can fight with how I can smart fight with Charles. What I need to be careful when I need to go to. So yeah, he give me good tips. Almost I talk with him almost every day. He's my good guy. I feel like he wanna. I feel from him that he want that I will win this fight. So yeah, I everything what Dustin tell me, I save my head.
I love it. And so a win over Charles, where does that put you? What do you think happens if and when you beat him?
Right now, my focus is in the Charles Oliveira fight. I don't wanna think in so much what will be next because I did this mistake before when I fought with Darius or Hooker. So I know if I beat Charles, then gonna be open the doors in the biggest world. But right now, my focus in the Charles and strategy this fight.
Okay, but you would agree you wouldn't be too far away from maybe being in that title picture if you win, right? Maybe like 1 or 2 away.
Maybe yeah, maybe it depends what happened in the fight, how fight will looks, how fast I finish him. But for sure, bro, the Charles Oliveira is the legend. I respect him so much, but his biggest name. If I pass him, maybe 1, maybe 2 fights, and I will be next. But like I say, right now my focus is in the Charles fight because he's still dangerous fighter.
Sure. You were talking about your family. I saw a video. I think it's of your son training. Is he the next UFC fighter? What's happening here with your son?
Yeah, when I see my son, I see in his eyes like he's the fire and he wanna train every day. This is like we wake up in the morning and he asked me about, hey daddy, can we train today? Can we fight each other? So and his favorite movie is Avengers, like the Hulk, Spider-Man, some things. And always he asked me, hey, daddy, when I will be superhero?
Wow.
I told him, son, calm down. You have 3 rules, be patient. You have to be good in the school. You have to eat a lot of, and you have to train every day and be patient. And I think if he will keep pace like that. He wanna train every day. So he has only 5 years old. So for him it's long way to be the fighter or be big guy. But I think so he will be next UFC fighter. And sometimes when I see Conor son on Topuria son, so then I see in my head that these kids wanna meet each other in the tournament.
Wow. That would be. How old is he?
Right now, 5 years old.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so he's starting young, but he's well on his way. Is he your oldest?
My son is 5 years old and my daughter 9 years old.
Okay. Does your daughter show the same kind of interest in martial arts?
No, my daughter no. Daughter no. Okay. but for my son, yes.
Okay, I love that. And by the way, you won't be alone in Brazil, right? Fellow Polish fighter Karolina Kowalkiewicz and ATT fighter will be on the card as well. So you'll have some sort of help if you need it.
Yes. The Bia will be the one woman, the Karolina Kowalkiewicz as well, and this is gonna be me. And I hear this will be a lot of Polish fans in the arena. But bro, this arena is big, 16,000 people. So I think this is gonna be Poland versus Brazilian there, but everything with the respect.
Can I ask? It seems like we're moving towards Ilya versus Paddy for the belt. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Paddy getting the title shot, if in fact it works out that way? And who do you think wins that fight?
Oh, I am surprised because I don't hear that, but yeah, Paddy is the. Like maybe not big name, but media for the media, he's popular, very popular. So maybe that's why he get this fight. Interesting matchup, but I think Topuria will knock him out, because his chin is always high. Topuria, so his BJJ skills is really good against the Charles, and sometimes I see his video in the training, so his jiu-jitsu skill is good. I think Topuria will knock him out.
Okay. And what about you? Official prediction, October 11th, you versus Charles. What's the result?
The results, my hands gonna be win, but how will see? Because I wanna do everything. I wanna show really my full skills. My previous opponent always stand up from the ground, like the ground was fire. But with Charles, this gonna be a non-stop action, scramble, and exchange techniques from the ground. So this gonna be very interesting and entertaining fight. We'll see. Maybe I submit Charles. Maybe I knock him out, or maybe there's gonna be 5 rounds, high pace. Doesn't matter how, but my hand's gonna be winning for sure. And this is my head, and I going to Rio like this mind.
I love it. Well, good luck to you, Mateusz. Thank you so much for coming on. Safe travels to Brazil. Go get the job done. I wish you all the best, my friend, and very much looking forward to the fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ariel, for inviting me to your podcast. And of course, let's go.
I love it. I love it. There he is, the pride of Poland, Mateusz Gamrot, who is very fired up. You can feel the excitement. You can feel the energy. I think this is a big opportunity. And Fiziev versus Oliveira was a great fight. This is a great one as well. Look, I'm excited that a guy like Gamrot is getting the opportunity because it seemed like he had been searching for it. And he's had opportunities before. He had the fight against Dan Hooker, lost that fight via split decision. That was a major setback. It seemed like he was well on his way. Has the win over Fiziev, knee injury, I get it. Has the win over RDA, Jalen Turner. Has the win over Arman Tsarukyan. Has the wins over Stevens and Carlos Diego Ferreira. So he's been doing his thing. He's coming off the hard-fought, unanimous decision win over Ludovic Klein. That was back in May, you may recall. And now here he is getting this opportunity. He was supposed to fight Nassim Sadikhov. I believe it was on the November 8th card. We have since found out that the November 8th card is going to be headlined by Randy Brown versus Gabriel Bonfim. The November 1st card, David Onama against Steve Garcia. So those will be 2 Apex cards back-to-back. But we are getting some good ones. Obviously, this weekend, UFC 320. Following week will be that one. Shortly thereafter, you'll have the Vancouver card the following week, and then Abu Dhabi. That's a good 4-card stretch, and then a couple of weeks after those, you'll get the MSG card with the Apex cards sandwiched in between. All right, still to come. Still, a litany of guests. 4 more guests. We have our 5th coming up in a matter of seconds here, and he is someone that I've been admiring and respecting from afar, and someone that I've wanted to have on the program. And this seems like I think, a great time to do so because, as I said at the top of the show, we have been talking a lot about his team. We have been talking a lot about the state of his team. We've talked to a lot of the members of the team, but we haven't talked to the man who put the whole team together. And the team that I am talking about, of course, the Fighting Nerds, very much in the news over the past 2 years. Last year, getting all the praise in the world, Team of the Year, all this stuff and more. And as things go with every single team in MMA, there are highs and there are lows. And one could say right now this is a bit of a tough stretch for them. But they don't seem to be the type to cower or hide, shy away from any of it. You're just a couple of wins away from everyone forgetting about it all. I'm talking about Pablo Sucupira, who I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Let me ask him now on the program if I'm doing so. He's the Alchemist, and he's kind enough to join us, the head coach and founder of the Fighting Nerds. Pablo, thank you so much for the time. It's great to have you on the show. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Sucupira.
Sucupira.
Yes.
Okay. Pablo Sucupira. Close enough.
Sounds good.
Okay,
That's
all right.
perfect.
Thank you so much. Great to have you on the show. I really appreciate it. And I know there's been a lot going on in your life and the team, and also congratulations on becoming a father. I saw you you recently welcomed a baby into this world, so congratulations on that too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Is that your first?
Yeah, it's my first baby. Really proud of that. And in the middle of so many wars, I think this is still the most important thing in the year.
Of course. Why do they call you, by the way, Pablo, the Alchemist? Where did this name come from?
Man, actually, it's a nickname that I gave to myself. I like a lot the Alchemist, because it was a guy that in the beginning was like a magician, like do some eternal life, and then with the years come through, he started to be like a scientist. He changed himself to keep existing, and I like the way the alchemy works. So I think I make a blend with a lot of emotions to create a performance. And then I started to think, hey, maybe I'm kind of an alchemist. So I like this nickname.
Yes, I think it's a great one. And it speaks to your background in fighting. You used to be a boxer, right?
Yes.
Did you ever compete in MMA?
No.
Okay, so and you had 5 pro fights?
I had 5 pro boxing fights and I have like 30 Muay Thai fights.
Okay.
I started as a Muay Thai fighter.
And then when did you retire from fighting?
2009. I was fighting Muay Thai yet. And I got a fight that I was supposed to win that fight and then go to a title eliminator outside. But I wasn't training well. I was having an athlete life. And I got knocked out in the second round. I wasn't expecting that. And for me, it was like a shock, you know. I said, what the fuck? And I always saw the martial art as a tool to be the best in the world in something, you know. I want to prove that I could be the best in the world in some area. And I thought being a fighter was that tool. And in 2009, I got knocked out, 29 years, and I thought, man, I will never be a world champion fighting. But I'm still young. If I move to as a coach, I think I can reach that. And from 2009, I stopped fighting and just focused on being a coach. I opened my first gym, and now I'm closer than I was fighting.
I love that. When did you start the Fighting Nerds? When did that start?
Man, my gym was called the Combat Club. So I had this gym and the name, man, I said, this name doesn't mean anything, you know, Combat Club. There's a lot of gyms with the same name. And I've been bullied a lot when I was young in my school days. And I started to brawl because of that. My fighting days started like fighting bullies. And I was always like, I study a lot, and there was Caio Borralho, my first MMA athlete that I started to train. And he was like a chemistry teacher and fits well for him also. And I started to think, man, we are kind of nerds, you know, we study a lot. We are not bad guys. We don't like to brawl. And I thought, man, we are kind of nerds, fighting nerds, you know, and I like this name, and I think the rest is history.
And what year was that when you decided to adopt that moniker?
The rebranding, I think, was 2018, 17,
okay.
Something like that.
And so Caio is the first, and then you start to add Carlos Prates, Gian Silva, Mauricio Hufi.
Yeah. Well, I think the burst of our team was in the lockdown, you know, when everybody needs to stay at home. And we are a team of 6 fighters. The only well-known was Caio Borralho, but a lot of promises. And I talked to the guys, say, hey, guys, we're supposed to be at home those 3 months. But I remember the story of the Lion's Den. I don't know if you heard about that.
Of course.
But the Lion's Den, when Cam Shamrock lost to Royce Gracie, and he said, hey, we are not training well. And he put all those guys in a house, I think in Colorado, for 6 months. And everybody was there just training. No, they didn't see his families. And I thought, man, we can do the same now. We are in lockdown, nobody can do anything. Let's lock ourselves in the gym and just train. And I think that was the born of the Fighting Nerds, because then we attached as a team and we started to train together. And I think from then we started to see some people. Back in the days, we just had Caio and Rufi from the UFC. But we were a team of 6 people. By the end of the lockdown, we were a team of 20 people. So we really grow in this time of the history.
And so it culminates with last year. You guys have incredible success, incredible victories, performances. You win awards, team, gym of the year. As you're experiencing all this, and then as the year is culminating, are you thinking to yourself, wow, I can't believe how all this is working. I can't believe all the good fortune, all the good luck, all the good results that we are having. How are you processing all of this as 2024 is coming to an end?
Man, I think we were reaching our dreams so fast. And I was thinking, man, I can't even taste those good things, because with so many fights together, we got 2024, I think was 26 fights, 22 wins, in the UFC. It was so much hype and so much things we were conquering. And I think I couldn't enjoy the way I should. And then after 2024 ends, we knew that we're going to have a really hard 2025. I was expecting that because the expectation of our team was so high, that would be really hard to reach that, So I was already expecting a really hard 2025.
And so it has become a little bit harder, right? There's been great moments like Carlos in Chicago, but some tough moments like this past event in Paris, and on even Carlos's fight against Ian Gary. And now you have to listen to everyone talking about the fall of the fighting nerds, the death of, and you see people celebrating. How have you been dealing with all of this? You as the man who put it together, as the coach, the founder, the leader of the team, how have you been dealing with the recent tough times, if you will?
Man, I think the size of the people talking trash talk is the same size of the compliments we had before. So I thought we had too much compliments before we reach our belts, I think we got too much hype. So I thought, man, when we lose, it's going to be huge also because people are talking too much of ourselves. And mostly, I think this year, it's the end of the fairy tale. We got like almost a fairy tale when everything was going so well. And now we're going to start a documentary. So now it's going to start a solid story, with defeats, wins, some mistakes. And I believe that we're going to reach the top. I believe we're going to make some champions. And more than that, we're going to make in a different way. I think we present to the world a kind of different way of fighting. People want to see the fighting nerds, even people who want to see us being defeated. But people want to see our fighters fight because we know the game, we know what the UFC expect from us. We know what the fans expect from MMA. And I think we're developing something new. And we just doesn't reach the top yet. And people are even expecting that to celebrate or expecting our fall to say bad things. But one thing's for sure, people want to see us fighting.
Mm-hmm. And that is 100% true. That's a very sort of mature and level-headed response and approach to this obstacle. Do the fighters feel the same? Are you sensing the same from them, or are you feeling like you have to pick them up? Are you feeling like the morale is down right now?
And I think Carlos had a good recovery from his defeat. I couldn't speak so much with Rufi yet. He has some issues. And Caio we still have to talk more. Gene is back in the gym already. Caio had some trainings with us also. I think the most important thing is to see if they are even more hungrier than they were. Because the only way that we won't reach the top if we give up, because I think we have a good material. I think we have a good mindset, and I won't give up any time yet. I will reach the top. And I think the athletes think the same I did. So I think now it's to put the feet on the ground, talk a little bit less, and regroup. I think the most important thing for me as a head coach is to keep the team together as a group, as the same way we've been climbing. And I think now most important than see the mistakes and what we have to develop as a technique is to keep our team together as a group, as a family, and I'm focused on that. But anyway, I can see that Kyle, Jim, Rufi, and Carlos, they want to evolve. You know, they are not happy with the situation. They want to evolve and to prove that they can do better than that. And I'm 100% with them. You know, I think we can together we can prove that what we did is championship material because we put on a show. We got a lot of bones, but people still think, is that championship material? And that's what we want to prove.
Have you studied what other teams have gone through? You know, there's so many teams in MMA over the years, and they've been, you know, there was a time where this team was the hottest team, and then they have a tough time, and everyone says, oh, they're finished, and this team comes along. This is not unique to you guys. You know this, right? And so I'm just wondering if you looked at how other teams evolved and adapted when faced with these tough circumstances.
It's like, I think what is different from our team is the rise was so fast.
Yeah.
I was studying the teams, and usually they take 10 years to debut in the UFC and reach to a title, 10 to 12 years. And we are 2 years in the UFC. Like, it's our third year since our debut, our first fighter debut in the UFC. So it's like we are in our childhood in the UFC. Sometimes I feel like Michael Jackson, you know, like, he was so young and being so light on him. And I think we had the same. I think we had a beginning of our career in the UFC was with so much expectation and so much hype that people forgot that we just started, you know. It's our third year in the UFC. We have a long way to go. And I hope we keep doing things fast. But I'm young, I'm 45. I want to be coaching for at least 20 years. So I know I have a long way ahead of me, and I think the team the same.
I understand that this might be a tough question to answer, but sometimes when you get all that success very quickly, one's head gets big. Did you sense that was happening within the team, maybe even to yourself as well, and do you feel like there has been a humbling process this year?
Yes, I think so. I think we are living as champions before we were champions. Mm-hmm. So I think the hype and the media and all the sponsors and even the UFC was betting a lot on us. So I think it's impossible that you can't, you know, go with the vibe. And now we had to step back a little bit. But I feel the ground is more solid now, you know. I thought we were in a Crystal Palace before. And now I feel that people knows that we're going to lose some fights. People know that we're going to come back and win some fights. And with the losses and wins, I think we're going to be one of the top teams in the UFC. And that's what my goal is, to be ahead, along with the top teams and do not just the numbers, but do in a different way. I think the most valuable thing that I did is the mindset of the fighter. How do we see the fight? And I don't think this was proved yet. I think we have a lot to prove about my mindset and my fighting view, you know. I think we can do even bigger things when this part is understandable, you know.
Yes. When you know, you talk about the state of the fighters, the main four. You did mention Mauricio's having maybe a slower time. What did you mean by that when you talked about Mauricio not quite there?
No. It's not that slower time. It's that he had already, before the fight happened, he had some appointments, sponsor appointments that helped to pay for the camp. So he needed to go to Australia. He was there. And he had some family issues, some really serious family issues. Now he's coming back to solve them. And then I just didn't sit with him
to talk.
But I think Man, I've been talking with him in the cell phone, and like Kyle and Jim, I seen them really strong, really want to be back on track and prove that they were better than people were saying.
Okay. What do you say to people who say the team has to evolve, and in particular with the wrestling, that there needs to be more of a wrestling presence, a wrestling focus? What is your response to that?
Man, could be. What can I say? We just lost 2 fights with people putting us on the ground. It's hard to say that we have a good wrestling, but I can say by the trainings they have really good wrestling technique. Flavio Alvaro, our grappling coach, I think he's really good. But I think was the mindset. I think we got in the fights like almost knowing that we would win these fights before it happened, I think our fighter was too relaxed. And when you fight a striking game more relaxed, we can do that. But when you're talking about grappling and wrestling, we'll be really focused on that, really on point, And I think Benoit Saint-Denis and Diego Lopes, they got our guys like get inside the fight. If you see Rufi and Jim before they were taken down, they were getting inside the fight yet. Like I always say, the first minute of the fight just to study the opponent. And I didn't feel our guys was doing that. They were like, we're gonna go there and knock the guy out. We've been doing this for, imagine, like those guys, they've been knocking guy out for the last 11, 12 fights.
Right.
It's hard to tell them, hey guys, watch out, this fight's gonna be hard. You have to prepare. Because they were knocking everybody out. Now it's easier for me to coach them because now we see the dangers of the fighting game. Now we have to be more focused. In a stranger way, I think my work is going to be easier now.
Yes, no, I understand that for sure. What about not being too emotional, and in particular with John Silva? It seemed like maybe the emotions got in the way in the fight with Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would like to work on?
I think so. I think the trash talk can't be inside our heads. What I felt that the trash talking we are doing made more affecting ourselves than the other guys. So, man, Gene is the happiest guy I ever seen inside the octagon. Even in Diego Lopes' fight, he was smiling and really happy inside the cage. But this happiness made him less focused on the fight, So I think now it's time to low down a little bit the emotion, even the feelings, even the good feelings and the bad feelings, and be a little bit more robotic, We have some steps. We have some strategic steps that we have to follow, and we were missing that. So, man, I think we're going to change a lot of points, techniques points, emotions points, strategic points, even mediatic points. I think we got too big,
Mm-hmm.
Before we were really big, So I think was a good step back. We were needing that.
I am very excited about the comeback. I think you have the right mindset, the right approach. I have no doubt that this team is going to be back to where it was last year. I think anyone who is counting you guys out, your team is too talented, and you appear, this is my first time speaking to you like this, but you appear to be too smart to allow just a few losses. People make a big deal about a loss, and then you come back. Look at Carlos. He loses to Ian Gary, and then he wins, and then everyone forgets about it. So it's a very fickle sport. I did want to ask you, Pablo, I saw on social media you were at the Spartan Fight Night event. Did you see the brawl? Were you there for the brawl and what happened to Vanderlei Silva? I saw you there on social media.
Yes, brother.
What the hell? Tell us what happened from your perspective.
I was really close from the ring. And, man, it was a hot fight. They were trash talking them before the fight. And even in the ring, they were talking with each other during the fight. And I think, just like the fighting nerds, the problem wasn't the fighters. The problem was the team, the coaches that were behind them, especially because a lot of fighters as coaches. And I think they got too heated with the trash talking. And if you see the fight beginning, both fighters was trying to calm down the guys. And I don't know. I think we are seeing a lot of teams, including my team, participating too much of the trash talking and the brawl. I think this is an athlete part, you know. I don't think the coaches and the team should be involved with that, you know. I have to protect my fighter, but I think when the lights go on, it should be the fighter on the lights, not the team, you know. So, man, it was a really good fight. The event was, I think, the bigger event we ever had in Brazil, in a boxing event. Was, man, perfect. I have to appreciate what the brand was doing. But the end was not a good end, but, man, things like that happen in the fighting game. Won't be the last time.
I have heard, I have a good friend named Guilherme Cruz who works for MMAfighting.com, the Brazilian Beast I call him, and he reported that this was a very high-profile event on Globo, and the attention has not been good, and that it could potentially hurt mixed martial arts in Brazil. Are you feeling any of that? Has this become such a big story that there's a potential blowback on MMA in the country?
I hope not. I hope not. I know that the event and the brand got a lot of attention, a lot, but wasn't the best attention I think they were expecting. But I think they have a good media team. They will drive this to make. I think we're gonna have at least one more event like that. And the most important thing is the next event we do everything right. And the people inside the event understand how important this is for the Brazilian sport. I was there. I was, man, amazed with everything. And I really hope people understand that and think not just in themselves, but in the whole country, because we need that. Our sport need that.
Yes, of course, with the great history of fighting in Brazil. With regards to your team and the main four fighters that we've been speaking of, do you think any of them are going to fight again this year?
I think so. I think Jean might fight in December. Kyle was trying to fight a fight in December also. Actually, it was really kind of hard to find opponents for our guys. And I think after those defeats, it's going to be easier. But I think...
And Carlos, obviously, against Leon.
Jean will fight. We have two guys fighting in Contender Series.
Today?
Yeah.
Wow.
The main event and the co-main event is
fighting
nerd fighting.
Are you there? Are you in Vegas?
No, I'm in São Paulo. I'm preparing the guys from UFC Rio.
Okay.
But Caio Borralho is there. Caio Borralho is coaching them.
Okay. And you have Carlos obviously fighting Leon Edwards.
Man, one thing I would like to tell people, we are not just those four guys.
Sure.
Fighting nerds, we are almost 50 fighters, 50 pro fighters fighting there. We are already 12 guys in UFC. Imagine that in 2 years and a half, we are 12 guys fighting in UFC. We had this year 3 contender fighters. We already had one contract winner, and now today 2 more guys. So the team is much bigger than those 4 guys. Those 4 guys, they are like the best we have, of course, but we have a lot of guys coming. We're gonna see a lot of new names from our team. And one thing I realized with all those 4 guys, we develop a game that it's a show. Everybody wants to see. But when you reach the title eliminator, all the 4 guys reach that point and come back. So now it's time to move a little pieces to burst onto the title contender, you know. So you understand that point. We have a lot of fighters coming, and we have those 4 guys that we're going to move some pieces, and I'm sure they're going to reach the title fight, and then we're going to tell another story about that.
And I did also see Alex Pereira came by the gym.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Man, we've look how funny. I've been training with Alex Pereira since he was fighting kickboxing before the glory days when he was fighting in Brazil. when I was a boxer, I had a heavyweight boxer, Igor Adiel, a Brazilian champion, and they used to spar like 8 rounds, 10 rounds, and it was like was a fight. Alex used to say that the only place he could really spar was with us. So I helped him before the UFC, and after the UFC, he come back and sometimes he did some training with us. I like to talk with him a lot. I admire him. I think he's one of the best martial artists I ever seen in my life. So it's always a good talk. And every time he's in São Paulo, he reach me, hey, can I go there? And so, of course, man, our gym is like a lab, a laboratory. So everybody who respects the sports and knows how to train can go there. And if you are a UFC fighter and wants to do some training there, you are welcome. And I would like to change this way that you only can train in your gym.
Pablo, I have to say, a real pleasure to have you on the show. Congratulations on all your success. Amazing stuff. I have no doubt that, the ball will start rolling in your favor once again. You have a lot of great fighters. Good luck to the team tonight. Good luck next week in Rio, Madison Square Garden, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you so much for coming on. Really great to have you, and I look forward to our next chat.
Thank you, Ariel. I've been watching you for a while. I was always dreaming about being here, and I hope to one day be in your set and talking about a belt.
Anytime, my friend. I look forward to that as well. Thank you so much. Obrigado, Pablo. Sucupira.
Yeah, brother. De nada, meu irmão. Muito obrigado.
There he is, Pablo Sucupira, the head coach and founder of the Fighting Nerds. Really great chat. Love coaches like him. Love the insight. Everyone's going to react to a few losses in a row. But as he said, over 50 fighters and 12 or so in the UFC, couple on Contender Series tonight. That number could grow by the end of the evening. So a lot to be excited about if you are a member of the team and if you're a fan of the team and you're a fan of those guys. And it's hard not to be a fan of those guys, if I'm being honest. All right, let us turn our attention now to UFC 320, one of the interesting fights, one of the fights that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, and fighters that a lot of people are looking forward to seeing is JooSang Yoo, a.k.a. Zombie Jr., JooSang Yoo, I should say, of South Korea, who made his UFC debut back in June, right across the river in Newark, UFC 316, had a tremendous win. The win, to be exact, was like 28 seconds. I don't want to rob him of a couple of seconds. 28-second, a blistering debut. We won via left hook knockout in the very first round. Got his shot into the UFC via the Dana White Looking for a Fight show back in December, a prodigy of the great Korean zombie himself, Chan Sung-jung. A lot of people very excited about this young man, a perfect 9-0, and he returns to action this Saturday at UFC 320 at T-Mobile Arena against Brazil's Daniel Santos. He is kind enough to join us right now, so let us say hello to JooSang Yoo. There he is, right here now on the program, and I do believe he is having some help with the translation. Hello, JooSang Yoo. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hello.
You have someone helping you with the translation, or you speak English?
I'm right here next to him.
Okay. I thought maybe he learned English over the last couple of days. That would have been very exciting.
Yeah, he's been learning very passionately.
Okay. Do you understand English?
A little bit.
Okay, so you're coming a long way. I like that. Well, congratulations on all your success. And look, a year ago, this time you weren't in the UFC. You had your debut in June, and now your second fight on a big show. Can you describe what this past year, what 2025, the last 9 months since you got your opportunity to fight in the UFC, what it has been like for you?
여태까지 이룬 업적 너무 축하해요. 왜냐면 1년 전만 해도 지금 UFC에 사인되지 않았던 상태잖아요. 근데 이제 지난 6월에 데뷔전을 치렀고 이제 또 두 번째 경기를 앞두고 있잖아요. 2025년이 이제 9개월 정도 지났는데 지금까지의 기분은 어떤지? 별 다를 거 없이 똑같고 항상 시합이 이런 큰 대회고 작은 대회고 항상 한 경기 한 경기 나의 온 시간 투자해서 준비했기 때문에 별 다른 게 없다고 생각합니다.
To be honest, I don't see things differently because small or big, every fight is an important fight and I put all my devotion into that fight. So it is big. UFC is big, but my mindset hasn't changed.
I love and respect that. I do see you getting some more attention. I know a lot of the fans in South Korea follow you and like you very much. I even saw you on the GQ in South Korea having a nice photo shoot there. And so these things don't affect you at all? It doesn't make you feel like you're on top of the world?
사람들이 많은 관심을 가지기 시작했고 최근에 GQ 화보를 찍은 것도 봤는데 이제 이런 것들이 좀 붕뜨게 하진 않는지 내가 모든 걸 이제 가지고 있다, 좀 누리고 있다 이런 생각을 들게 하진 않는지 궁금해요.
전혀 그런 생각 안 들고 내가 이 격투기를 함으로써 이런 것들이 다 가능하다 생각하기 때문에 일단은 내 본업 그리고 내가 지금 꾸고 있는 꿈을 먼저 이루고 이런 것들은 항상 운동이 먼저고 운동 시간에 방해가 된다면 무조건 과감하게 쳐낼 수 있어야 된다 생각합니다.
So not at all. I don't feel different. I'm only able to take so much love from everyone, do these photo shoots and whatnot, only because I'm fighting and I'm focusing on my fights. So if these things are secondary, if it becomes a hindrance to my fight, I will not do these. I will only participate in such actions after I focus on my fights.
I was looking at your record and I saw that you fought in amateur bouts up until 2018. And then there's a 3-year gap. And then you made your pro debut in 2021. What did you do between 2018 and 2021? Or was it just because perhaps I was thinking maybe the pandemic, there were less opportunities? I'm not sure. You tell me. What was the reason for the 3-year gap in activity?
2018년까지 아마추어 경기를 뛰다가 이제 3년의 공백이 있었고 그다음 21년부터 다시 이제 경기를 뛰기 시작했는데 이 3년 동안 어떤 공백이 있었던 건지 그 공백 동안 무엇을 했는지가 궁금해요.
이제 운동을 이제 그만두는 거의 시점에 있었는데 좋은 기회가 있어서 다시 운동을 시작하기 전의 단계에서 그 3년을 쉬었던 것 같습니다.
So in 2018, I put a stop to my fighting. I almost quit, but around 2021, a good opportunity came, and that's how I started back.
Why did you almost quit?
왜 그만둘 뻔했는지.
부상도 많았고 생계도 너무 힘들었고 이제 이런 저런 것들이 막 겹치다 보니까 이게 내 길이 아닌가 보다라는 생각을 한번 그때 했었던 것 같다.
It was a mixture of a lot of hardships. I felt so much pressure on my shoulders. I had a hard time getting on by daily lives. So with all these combined, I thought maybe this isn't the right road for me. Maybe I should look for something else.
And what would you have done? What would that something else be? Or what would it have been?
그러면 그 다른 것이 무엇이 됐을까요?
어느 평범한 직장인 아니면 똑같은 평범한 삶을 살고 있지 않았을까요?
Maybe just an ordinary office worker, someone who lives ordinary life like everyone else.
Wow.
I think.
And who maybe convinced you, motivated you to actually stick with this GoPro and commence your pro career?
그러면 여기서 그만둘 뻔했는데 누가 다시 붙잡고 계속 앞으로 나아갈 수 있게끔 동기부여를 해줬어요.
동기부여라기보다는 그 당시에 이제 또 코너 맥그리거 그리고 또 전상영 이제 시합들을 보면서 다시 조금 꿈을 꿨던 것 같아요. 내가 이거 아니면 내가 뭐 하지? 이런 생각이 되게 많이 들었다고.
So around that time, I've been watching a lot of fights from Conor McGregor and Korean Zombie, and every time I watch the fight, something burned in my heart. So I've been thinking, okay, this is a dream I really want to go for. This is my road. This is what my life is devoted for. And that's how I started back again.
And at that point, did you not know Korean Zombie? Had you never met him before?
그 당시에는 만난 적이 없고 그냥 선수로만
이제 한국 대회 같은 그 전까지는 만난 적은 없었고
그냥 선수로서만 알고 있어요.
Yep. Until then, I've only known him as a fighter, who I watched online or through a TV. I've never met him in person.
Wow. When did you meet him and what were the circumstances around it?
이제 한국 대회 뛸 때 이제 다른 이제 코리안 좀비 체육관에 세컨으로 오셨을 때 이제 한 번씩 뵙다가 이제 정식적으로 이제 JFN 대회를 뛰게 되면서 가까워지게 됩니다.
So I've been fighting in other Korean tournaments, but I've seen him as cornerman for other fighters. But then he has his own promotion, ZFN, and that I participated in the first ZFN, and that's how I really got to know him.
Okay, and how would you describe your relationship with him now?
지금 관계는 어떻게 표현할 수 있을까요?
그래도 삼성이 어떻게 생각할지 모르겠지만 저는 굉장히 가까운 사이라고 생각하고 시합 때도 항상 한 번씩 연락 주시고 해서 큰 힘이 된다고.
I don't know what he thinks of me, but to me, for me, I think we're in really good terms. I feel really close to him. Before the fight or after the fight, he gives me advices, and that helps me a lot.
I saw him say that he woke up early to watch your debut. He was very emotional. I've seen him do interviews about you, and so it must be amazing to have that kind of support. Is he going to be in Las Vegas for this fight on Saturday?
저번에 경기 치렀을 때 정찬성님이 아침 일찍 일어나서 경기를 챙겨보고 그리고 주상님에 관련해서 인터뷰도 여러 차례 진행했었잖아요. 이번에 라스베가스 경기 때도 오시는지.
원래 오시려고 했다가 이제 한국이 추석 명절이 겹쳐서 비행기표가 없어서 못 오시게 됐다고 연락을 주셨어요.
He was planning to, but right now in Korea it's Chuseok, which is the Korean version of Thanksgiving, and people book flights like crazy, so he couldn't get a ticket to Vegas. So he will not be coming.
I'm sorry to hear that. I also understand, and can you clear this up for me? Did you used to train with Dongyoung Kim, the stun gun, and now don't train with him? And I understand this is a big story in South Korea. Could you explain what happened there between you and stun gun?
김동현 선수랑 전에 훈련했었고 지금은 안 하고 있는 것도 알고 그리고 이게 한국에서는 좀 큰 이슈인 것도 알고 있는데 그거에 대해서 스토리를 조금 풀어줄 수 있는지.
되게 민감해서 뭐 어떻게 상세하게 풀 순 없지만 이게 뭐 사람 일이라는 게 누구 하나의 잘못으로 이렇게 끝나는 일은 없다고 생각은 해서 뭐 물론 저희도 잘못이 있었을 거고 김도영 관장님도 잘못이 있었을 거고 그냥 저는 그렇게 생각합니다.
It really is a sensitive issue, so I cannot give you a full detailed story. But you know, when two groups or two people go wrong, it's never one person's fault. It's always both groups, you know, having hard feelings toward each other. And I think we're at that stage. So yeah.
Okay. Are you hopeful that you'll be able to get over that stage and have some kind of relationship again in the future? Is that something you would like?
지금 상태를 좀 개선해가지고 관계 회복을 할 수 있을 거라 보는지 그리고 그런 걸 조금은 희망하는지.
아니요. 희망하진 않고 지금 이대로가 좋습니다. 저는.
So he's not really optimistic about the relationship status, but he thinks that they should do well on their own separate ways.
Okay. And is this something that you don't like talking about? Are you uncomfortable talking about this because it's too fresh still?
이 얘기가 지금 너무 일어난 지 얼마 안 된 일이라 좀 불편한 건지.
아니, 일어난 지는 벌써 한 3, 4년 돼가니까 이제는 아무렇지도 않다고 사실.
No, it's been almost 3-4 years now, so it doesn't really feel like anything.
Okay. Well, now you seem to be in a good place. You seem to be, thriving, and you got the opportunity coming off of the show that you were on in December, the Dana White Looking for a Fight. Did you know that he was going to be watching that event and perhaps picking someone to bring to the UFC? Did someone tell you this beforehand?
12월 GFN2에서 싸울 때 데이나 화이트가 이제 Looking for a Fight 시리즈를 통해서 경기를 봤잖아요. 그거를 경기 전에 보게 될 건지 그리고 데이나가 직접 선수를 고를 건지를 싸우기 전에도 알았나요?
알고 있었는데 뭐 사실 그걸 알고 모르고를 떠나서 어차피 이 경기는 내 인생에 되게 중요한 경기니까 그냥 그게 더 컸지 막 그걸 막 머릿속에 연연하지 않았던 것 같아요.
I knew about Dana watching and that also that he's gonna be picking a fighter for UFC. But like I said before, I put in all my effort into a fight, so it didn't really change anything. A fight is a fight to me, and that's all I really care about.
That didn't make you more nervous or anxious or anything like that? More pressure?
부담이
전혀 없었고 그냥 빨리 들어가기 전에 싸우고 싶고 신나고 내가 힘들게 준비했던 거 보여줄 시간이다라는 생각밖에 없었던 것 같아요.
Not at all. It didn't put pressure on me. I was excited to go in the cage and show everyone the hard work I put in all the time.
For your debut to end the way in which it did, and you've had some quick finishes in your career, 32 seconds, a minute 15 seconds, to end like that in your UFC debut, 28 seconds. Can you describe the emotions that you felt in Newark that night?
이제 데뷔전을 보면 좀 빠른 KO들이 몇 개 있어요. 32초, 1분 15초, 그리고 UFC에서는 28초 KO를 했는데 그럴 때의 감정은 어떤가요? 그렇게 빠른 KO를 낸 그 순간에.
빠른 KO를 내고 싶다고 생각한 적이 한 번도 없는 순간이었고 다 판정 가서 어떻게 힘들게 좀 이길 수도 있겠다라는 생각을 항상 가졌을 때가 그렇게 일찍 끝났었던 것 같습니다.
I don't really go for KOs. All the KOs I've had was when I thought that I would plan this game out strategically, go to the decision and win diligently, but those were the games where I had the fastest KOs.
Your nickname is Zombie Jr. That's how a lot of the fans refer to you. How do you feel about that nickname?
닉네임이 좀비 주니어고 많은 사람들이 그렇게 부르고 있는데 그거에 대해서는 어떻게 생각을 하나요?
이런 것도 한국에서도 질문을 되게 많이 받긴 받았는데 좀비 주니어 제가 이제 어떻게 보면 찬성이 형 프로모션 하는 대회에서 UFC를 가게 됐고 일단은 어떻게 보면 정말 말도 안 되는 기회를 주신 거에 대한 감사함이고 이거를 찬성이 형은 두세 번 이렇게 이용해서 하다가 제 닉네임으로 바꾸라고 했는데 근데 그렇게 되면 제가 이 감사한 의미가 변질이 되는 것 같아서 처음 데뷔전이 끝나고 약속드렸던 챔피언전이 끝날 때까지는 좀비 주니어로 계속 갈 생각입니다.
So I received a lot of questions regarding this because people in Korea been asking me about this. I put my name as Zombie Jr. because Chansung, Korean Zombie, gave me an incredible opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity to get into UFC. And Chansung actually told me that use my ring name a couple of times and get your own. But I told Chansung that I will get him the title belt, and changing my ring name in midway doesn't mean anything. So I'm hoping to use his ring name until I get my championship belt.
Wow. And you want to present that to him as a thank you.
감사의 표시로 그리고 벨트를.
I love that. Do you also walk out to the Cranberries song, Zombie?
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is incredible. And how long have you been doing that for?
그 워크아웃송을 그걸로 한지는 얼마나 됐나요?
데뷔 전부터.
Since my UFC debut.
Okay, so this will be the second time.
Correct.
Your opponent, Daniel Santos, has a win over a fellow South Korean fighter. He was supposed to fight Doo-Hoo Choi. Why do you think they keep booking him against South Korean fighters? What's going on here?
다니엘 산토스가 이전 경기에서는 이정영 선수랑 싸웠고 원래는 최두호 선수랑 싸우기로 됐었어요. 이제 주장님이 상대가 됐는데 왜 자꾸 한국인을 상대로 잡아주는 걸까요?
그 최두호 선수가 시합이 치러질 때쯤에 찬성이 형이 저한테 한번 어떻게 했냐고 얘기를 하셔서 그냥 그렇게 연달아서 된 거지 뭔가 한국인만이 어떻게 돼서 된 건 아닌 것 같다라는 생각을.
This is my personal opinion, but I think Chansung may have had some role because when Doo-Ho Choi's bout was canceled, Korean Zombie asked me if I wanted to participate in that fight, and that's how it went. So I don't think really UFC really wanted to put Daniel Santos against Koreans next Koreans one after another. I think that's how it happened, just naturally.
Okay, that would make sense. And he seems to be very much in your favor. In fact, he even reached out to me asking if you could come on the show. He seems to be very excited about your career and very supportive. So I'm sure that that means a lot as well. Can I ask, speaking of messaging and Instagram, you have two Instagram pages. Why is that? Why do you have two different ones?
인스타그램 계정이 두 개가 있는데 왜 그런 거지?
하나는 제 개인 계정이고요. 하나는 이제 공동으로 회사랑 같이 관리하는 그런 계정으로 두 개 이렇게 만들고 있어요.
So I have two Instagram accounts, one being my personal private account, and the one you're showing on the screen is actually managed by my management, my company. So we would often do co-working posts together, but the one with more followers is my personal account.
Okay. I'm glad that we were wondering about that. So I'm glad that we were able to clear it up. It says my own hero. Why my own hero you?
왜 my own hero?
아, 이제 뭐 아까도 얘기했던 것처럼 그 예전 팀에 있다가 나왔을 때 혼자서 이제 막 계속 왔다 갔다 하고 운동도 이제 정착하고 이러지 못하는 상황에서 힘들었는데 어찌 보면 그냥 인생에 있어서 내 영웅은 나다라는 의미가 가장 잘 맞는 것 같아서 인스타 아이디가 원래 등장곡도 그거였었습니다.
So previously, I belonged to a team, but after I left the team, I wandered around multiple gyms, training alone and with training with people whom I ever could find. And I think that's how life is. You're your own hero, and you have to, save yourself, and that's how life works.
Wow.
It used to be my walkout song, but now it has changed.
Sure. I love how introspective you are, how thoughtful you are. These are really great answers. So much respect to you.
생각이 되게 깊은 답변들이 너무 멋있다고 하네요.
원래 좀 딥합니다.
He's saying that he is naturally deep in his thoughts.
I like that. Could I ask you one last thing? It's maybe a silly question, but I have an 8-year-old daughter, and her favorite thing in the world is a movie called K-pop Demon Hunters. Do you know what this is? Is this big in South Korea as well, or is it just us Americans that watch it here?
8살 딸 아이가 있는데 그 아이가 제일 좋아하는 영화가 요새 이제 캐레반인데 이게 한국에서도 엄청 유명한 건지.
사실 막 이제 연애 이런 프로그램이나 이런 거에 관심이 없어서 잘 모르겠는데 어디 막 걷다가 보면 노래는 계속 흘러나오는 것 같아요.
To be honest, I don't really watch TV shows like that, but I keep hearing the song whenever I walk on the streets, so I'm pretty sure it's really big in Korea as well.
Oh, yes. You should check it out if you have some time in Las Vegas. I'm going up.
어제 PIS 나왔다고.
He's saying that he heard a song at the PI.
Golden. Is it called Golden?
Yes, Golden.
Golden, or the soda pop one. There's all the songs. My daughter sings them all. She dresses like them. It's very nice. I like it. All right, you should check it out. Maybe next time you walk out to that song. But I think Zombie by the Cranberries, much cooler than that. What a pleasure to have you on the show, JooSang. It's really amazing to see the next evolution of fighters coming out of South Korea, especially with Chen Sung-jung involved. I wish you the best. Good luck this weekend, and thank you so much for taking some time. And congratulations on all the success so far in your career.
나와줘서 너무 고맙고 그 다음에 앞으로의 결과가 기대되고 정산성의 계보도 있는 그런 사람이 꼭 되었으면 좋겠고 그냥 끊어.
네. 저도 오늘 이렇게 인터뷰 참여할 수 있어서 너무 영광이었고 너무 재밌었습니다. 감사합니다.
Yep, thank you for having me. It's been my biggest honor. Maybe see you next time.
Yes, sir. We look forward to it. Take care. Bye-bye. There he is, JooSang Yoo, the Zombie Junior, they call him. I was going to say the Korean Zombie, but he's not the Korean Zombie. Oh, I guess you could say the Korean Zombie Junior or Korean Zombie Junior or Part 2. In any event, great young man. And I say young man, I mean, he is 31. He started a little late, talked about that time off from the sport, the split with Stung-gun, Dong-Young Kim, which I understand was a huge story and maybe continues to be over in South Korea. But he is well on his way with the likes of Korean Zombie by his side. Very easy to root for. I like this guy a lot. And he returns to action this Saturday against Daniel Santos, the UFC 320 prelims. All right, still to come, Benny Safdie, the critically acclaimed, very successful director of The Smashing Machine, of Uncut Gems, among many others. Looking forward to talking to him at 2:40. We'll talk to Tom Nolan, who had a big win this past weekend at UFC Perth against Charlie Campbell. Also Amir Khan, the legendary boxer. Wanted to talk about some Smashing Machine as we get into our conversation with Benny Safdie. So again, in case you are unfamiliar, 2002 documentary about Mark Kerr, nicknamed the Smashing Machine, friend, teammate of Mark Coleman. It's about their time in Pride, but it's really about Kerr's trials and tribulations. Very open, very honest. All the warts are on display. The drug use, the recreational drug use, the pain medication, the performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, all of it is on display. It's Pride in the late 90s, early 2000s, a great era. And this film comes out this Friday. It was announced in 2019 that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was going to be a part of it, that he had purchased the rights, I believe, from a documentarian in Bulgaria. I had heard that the plan at the time was to have Jean-Claude Van Damme play Mark Kerr way before The Rock got involved. And obviously the pandemic delayed things, and now here we are. And we saw the movie yesterday, the whole team did, and Pizzi saw the movie as well over in Dublin. So let me ask Pizzi, who just saw it, I think, today, and I saw he tweeted about it. What do you think? What's the review?
I thought it was great, man. And I don't know if you're like me, when it's something close to your heart, like MMA is, and any fan from that kind of generation, this documentary will mean a lot to you. So you kind of go in with some reservations, saying, I have a feeling I'm going to get, nerdy about this and be all upset about something or other that they got wrong. But I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I think it's safe to say it's the best MMA film I've ever seen. Nothing irked me while I was watching it. And really, I think fans of MMA and fans of the documentary will absolutely love it. I thought The Rock was brilliant. And shout out Ryan Bader as well. Ben Folks is kind of talking about it, like, as MMA fans, we're going to be watching this saying, oh, well, that's Ryan Bader. I thought he did a really good job. Like, I mean, Coleman's a very stoic guy, especially in that documentary. I think he kind of nailed it.
Couldn't agree more with your sentiment. We all loved that doc. We lived it. We saw it. We watched it. We were fans back then. And my concern was The Rock is so larger than life and so recognizable. Would it feel like we were watching The Rock on Saturday Night Live play, the hulking Mark Kerr? And midway through, you kind of forget, especially, I kept noting, especially when he wore a hat, Mark Kerr would always wear those hats with the curved brim, and like the hat for some reason, because it kind of covers the top of the face. I felt like he looked exactly like Mark Kerr, and I've seen interviews with Dwayne. I want to talk to Benny about this, where Benny said to him, like, you're going to have to get bigger and puffier, because that's what Mark Kerr was. And The Rock's a pretty big guy, and he kind of nailed it from a physique standpoint. I know that Rick is a noted and celebrated cinephile. It's all he does is listen to movie podcasts, reviews, things of that nature. So I'm very curious to hear his review. We didn't really talk about it afterwards because we wanted to keep it fresh for the program. What did you think, New York Rick?
I accept your designation as a cinephile.
Yes.
Thank you for properly acknowledging my prowess in that regard. I really loved it. And I was starting pretty trepidatiously because of, as Pizzi said, right? Like the Smashing Machine I have a fondness for it and an association with it that I've built many years ago. But also I just came in, like, as I said, trepidatiously, because I know The Rock, right? Like, and I know Mark Kerr, and it's very hard for me to picture them as one because of how distinct they are in my mind, right? I grew up watching The Rock wrestle. I've known him as a character for many years, and Mark was a staple of early MMA. And so I was expecting to have a hard time envisioning The Rock as Mark Kerr and not just looking at him and being like, oh, that's The Rock. But man, he knocked it out of the park. Like, he was absolutely tremendous. I think he will get an Oscar nomination for it. I think the film itself will get some Oscar nominations. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a supporting as well. It was a tremendous film. I was blown away. I had that was my fear, right? But then on the other side of it, I had high expectations just because of what I think of Benny Safdie as a director and his other projects. I'm a big fan of everything he does, so I did think that was a great sign that he was associated with it. It came together. It was a fantastic film. It looked amazing. It honored MMA in a very significant way. Nothing was like hokey. It was all exactly as I would have hoped it would have been. The drama was fantastic. The things that they added around the edges of the documentary were fantastic. I could not have been more impressed, honestly.
Safdie, the winner of the Silver Lion Award at the Venice International Film Festival. That was just earlier this month, which is an award given to, let me get this right, the best directing achievements in a feature film. And that's, I do believe, a pretty damn big honor for a director to receive. We saw the videos of The Rock and the whole cast and crew getting a 15-minute standing ovation after the film premiered at the Venice International Film Festival. GC, what did you think about the film?
Yeah, having not seen the documentary, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Everything that you guys just said, I thought The Rock killed it. I thought Emily Blunt killed it. Thought Bas Rutten may have stolen the show. I mean, he also killed it. He's just made for the camera. I love the way that it was shot. It kind of felt like it was old school, but probably my favorite part was the attention to detail, like all the logos and everything, like when they're doing the press conferences, like it's Pride branded, the shorts and everything, like going back and looking at old pictures of Mark Kerr, like the shorts are accurate to the ones that he was wearing. Thought Usyk was a great addition, having Bader in there as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The only thing I'll push back, you guys say best MMA movie by a mile.
Yes.
I liked Warrior a lot.
You liked it better than this?
I don't know. I mean, recency bias is tough. I enjoyed Warrior a lot, though.
I enjoyed Warrior. I don't think I feel very confident saying I personally didn't enjoy it as much as this. And you know why? Because to me it was the combo of a couple things. And Warrior's working at a disadvantage here because Warrior is just a standalone film. But I'm so happy that I watched the doc before and obviously was a fan of Pride and know these guys. And so to try to see like, oh, they did this, like in the doc. And then little things like when he's at the gym and he's wearing the Hofstra blue t-shirt. I love the fact that in the movie, he's wearing the Hofstra blue t-shirt. Like I love the fact that if you didn't know anything about the doc, these are just minor details. If you did know anything about the doc and recently watched it, you would appreciate these little things. And like you said, these little things about, Pride and Sakakibara and the press conferences and even tiny little details, guys. And I know Jordan watched the doc. I don't know if have any of you rewatched the doc since watching the film?
No. I wanted to last night, but it got late, so hopefully today.
I was told to wait until after the movie.
Again, I disagree. I disagree. But I felt like
wrong move.
Okay, so there's like a scene at the beginning.
I'm pretty sure all of y'all told me to do that.
No, not me. I was very steadfast. Okay, so there's a scene at the beginning of the doc. The doc, when you watch it now, is almost put together like a home movie that is just sort of like spliced together. It's not like the documentary. It's not like The Last Dance with narration. It's just scene in the moment. And there's a moment in the beginning of the doc where they're explaining the new rules for Pride 7, that you can't knee to the head of a grounded opponent. And a lot of the cuts in the doc are actually like not clean cuts, like they're mid-answer. It's very interesting. And that scene starts with someone saying, sorry, we're late. We apologize. Let's get into the rules. Like that's a nothing entry point. And in the movie, at that press conference where they're going in the rules, the lady starts off with, sorry, we're late. Let's get into it. Like it's even cut that way in the movie. Do you understand? So I don't know. I just love those little details. I was a big mark for all of that.
My favorite little detail in the documentary was the cauliflower ears, because at the start he's in competition.
Yeah,
he has his cauliflower ears are flushed, and then he goes to rehab, and when he's coming out of rehab, they're fine. They've been And then when he goes back into the gym, they're back again.
Whoa!
I was like, that is
you noticed that
incredible detail. Yeah.
Wow.
This was on The Rock in the movie.
On The Rock in the movie. So
wow.
they have a scene. They kind of do a close up on his ears early on. It's when he's there, he's fighting. He's actively training for a fight. Then he goes to rehab, and when he comes out, they're gone.
Wow,
they're not gone, but they're just inflamed. And then when he's back training, they come back. So I thought that was really fun.
It was really interesting watching the film with the team, but in particular Frank, who was very critical of the sound mixing and the score and the music and whatnot. I mean, it was really great insight. It was almost like analyzing a painting with Pablo Picasso, if I'm being honest. Frank, what did you think of the film?
I really liked the movie. Yeah, I think it was a good expression. I could see where it was using
expression of what though? Expression of what?
Because to me, like the story is reality, right? So you're not gonna have it fluffed up with like a huge climax and a great resolution or anything like that. It's like this is the guy's life. This is what happened, and a documentary was being used as like the source material, right? So as you were saying, they were sticking as true to that as they could. So because of that, it's like it's a love letter to MMA. It's a love letter to Mark Kerr himself, and I think they did a great job of doing that. And that's what I like about indie films is they tend to just go for the emotion rather than a great story.
Would you refer to this as an indie film?
Oh, absolutely.
Really? With The Rock and
Hollywood blockbuster?
Yeah.
What? Just because it's A24.
I mean, Bader was in it.
But the first documentary.
Wait. Why is
that's
Bader
his debut? You know,
the original.
Bader the determining factor.
The original cost $10,000 to make. Like, so they're trying to recapture what that looked like, I guess. Isn't that what Ben's article, like it was like a college student, didn't know where this was going, did a whip around in a pub basically to pay for the thing, and then this is what they got. Like it's insane.
They definitely spent more than $10K on the movie.
I think that's what they got, like to start going, like the Smashing Machine, the original documentary. I think that was like to get off the ground money.
Yeah.
Also, Frank just saying there's just no story here.
I didn't say there was no story. I'm saying it's a real story.
Harsh.
Just some dude's life.
Well, I think you're...
Get him to tell him to Benny when he comes on. I think you should get Frank to...
Yeah. Is he there? Is he listening to all of this?
Yeah, they're working.
I think so. They're framing him up.
Okay, amazing. But
real quick, before
yes.
we move on from that, like, have you seen something, A Beautiful Mind, right, about John Nash? Like, they took liberties to make it more entertaining and less realistic about that mathematician, right?
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying they did not do with the Smashing Machine. Like, they're staying as true to the source material as possible.
I get it. I love the little details. Like, even on Benny's Twitter, he posted a picture of Dwayne as Mark Kerr, like a promotional poster from back then, like these little things like you would see back in the day. I think we have it. This little stuff I'm such a huge fan of. I love fight posters. Like, look at this. Just like the way it's photographed, the way Mark looks, or Dwayne Johnson in this regard. You know, like,
what about the bad boy gear, Ariel?
The bad boy, the full contact fighter.
And the Nautica, that yellow Nautica jumper. For some reason, when I was like, oh, there's so many iconic things he wore during this thing, and they just nailed every single one of them. The hair even was his hair, and then he went to the different look with the old.
Yep.
So good, man.
I love the fact that Stephen Quadros, the fight professor, was there. Love the fact that Basrun obviously was involved. Alexander Usyk was great as Igor Vovchanchin. The early scene at a UFC event with the flags and all that stuff, and how like it looked like we were back at whatever that was, UFC in 1998. Like I love,
and Satoshi Ishii as well, right?
Satoshi Ishii, yes. Actually, there's a good few. Cyborg Abreu, Yushin Okami, Marcus Aurelio, James McSweeney, James Muntasiri, Ishii, as you said. And yes, shout out to Ryan Bader, who's never, I don't believe, acted before, having to play a pretty big role. Like, he wasn't just like a bit player, by the way, in case you haven't seen the film yet. Like, Ryan Bader is a very important part of this movie. He's in there in like emotional, dramatic scenes with Emily Blunt. Ryan Bader.
Yeah.
Most of the audience has not seen it. It hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
I went with a load of film critics today. Like I was allowed to come because a film journalist called Andy McCarroll invited me.
Wow!
But afterwards, they were singing Ryan Bader's praises. They were like, "Wow, has he acted before?" Like that was really impressive.
Wow!
Well,
what did they say about the movie, by the way?
They really liked it. They were worried about what I think of it. I think they were kind of like coming up to me like, "What did you think?" I was like, "I really, Dan, I'm so happy I saw it. I think it's brilliant." As I said to them, I don't think MMA has been represented in film this well ever. Like this is the high watermark now.
GC, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, they're doing this really cool thing on Canal Street on Thursday and Friday, and like you mentioned that Nautica pullover, you can buy the Nautica pullover. You
can come on, JC, you gotta get it.
Red shirt. Yeah, I might swing by this.
What do you mean?
Show.
You can buy it?
You can get the Mark Coleman shirt. I'm trying to get it loaded up, but like all of the stuff that they're wearing.
Oh, that's
sick. Yeah.
DC Boys in the Back Thursday, yellow Nautica jumper.
Yo.
No, after the show. That's when it'll be open.
I'm going with you. I want to get this stuff too.
305 Canal Street on Thursday.
All right. The one with the arcade, right?
Yeah, 15 plus arcade games, exclusive merch, props from the movie.
Sick.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be sold out by the time we get there. I want one of those.
That's the one. That's the piece everyone's after.
Yeah.
Yellow Nautica.
Yellow Nautica sweater.
I might have to get it on eBay after it's all sold out.
Man, I love you know what? I don't even, truth be told, I don't even know how you can watch the doc. Like, we keep talking about the doc. Like, I'll be 100% honest. I looked for it. I found it on Daily Motion. Like, some guy uploaded it.
Why now a guy if you just
there's ways to find it.
I'm just saying, one of these streamers.
You said too much.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that A24 or somebody didn't get the rights to it and then
put it somewhere,
put it on their platform. Yeah.
I wonder if Kim's video at Alamo Draft House has it, because they actually rent out VHS tapes for free, and if you don't have a VCR, they'll rent that out to you for $10.
Interesting. I don't even know if. Yeah, I guess they would have the old ones. I would love to get that. That would be amazing. But I do highly recommend it, whether it's before or after. I kind of like watching it before, but
watch it after. This is bad advice. Don't listen to that.
Maybe that's
this is terrible advice. You're gonna ruin the whole thing.
You're gonna ruin the dramatic part of it by just thinking about the documentary and comparing.
I'm gonna go watch it tonight. The doc tonight.
Okay, can I ask On-Air Jordan? Because I think On-Air Jordan watched it before.
Yeah.
Did you think that was a mistake?
Yeah, thought it was a bit of a mistake. I was thinking of the documentary the whole time and what was accurate and what wasn't.
Oh, I love doing that.
But I will say, this isn't exactly apples to apples. Moneyball is one of my favorite movies.
Okay,
I actually read the book, one of the few books I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
And just watching that, since I lived through that, I was like, these people do not look like the actual players. The people in the movie yesterday, shot for shot, looked exactly the same. It was actually incredible, the work that they did to make everyone look spot on. Even Bas Rutten still looked like Bas Rutten.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Bas Rutten, man, I was enamored with his performance.
Oh my God,
he's so good. He's so good. Well, who will we get to play 35-year-old Bas Rutten? How about 65-year-old Bas Rutten?
Hey, bald doesn't age, baby. It was a great movie for the bald brand.
That's
I mean,
true.
The Rock out there, Mark Kerr.
And Kerr looks better when he goes bald.
Yeah.
He is like...
Mark Coleman now is bald. Yeah, I mean, it's something.
Ishii, very bold as Inoue as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Usyk was great. Not a lot of not a lot of dialogue there.
Yo, here's the
I thought the
poster.
scene though with the knees and the
that's
head
sick.
were very good.
And then
that scene.
And then here's the merch that's available.
Oh,
look at that Nautica bad boy.
amazing.
Oh,
I kind of want to get a Mark Coleman shirt.
I want the
too.
whole thing.
Yeah,
Where do I get
the
that
whole
poster
pack.
there?
Yeah, why don't they have the Igor Vovchanchyn shirt? That was so cool as well. The one that Usyk had on him with the blood all over his face.
Yeah. We should ask about that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kerr shirt, the Coleman shirt, bottom
Coleman
left.
shirt's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah, just get them sent over. That'd be great, lads. Thanks.
You know, in an era where we're talking about like oversaturation and these Apex cards, like seeing some of those cards in these like one night tournaments, it's hard not to be romantic about it all and nostalgic about it all. You know, watching it in the middle of the night, there's a moment where Quadro says, "This is the first event airing in North America," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is it. This is when we all fell in love with it."
But like the shock of them like revealing the new rules, you know, like you can't knee them on the head when you're in a completely prone position. Everyone's like, "What? Hang on, you can't headbutt? What is this?" I mean, wow, they've really cleaned up this sport. Unbelievable.
Yeah. What a great film. I think we all can't recommend it enough. We've been hearing about it literally since 2019 when The Rock was at that press conference prior to the BMF title fight between Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz. I remember being there at Madison Square Garden at the theater. He came out, he announced it. And then, of course, the pandemic hits, and then we all kind of forget about it. And then I think last year we start to hear, no, this is actually happening. And Ryan Bader is going to be involved, and Alexander Usyk's going to be involved. And you start to see some photos of how Dwayne Johnson looks, and you're like, holy shit, this is really happening. And then it finally comes out, and then you see it, and you're blown away. So let us talk more about it, about the man who put it all together, the director of the film, critically acclaimed, just won the Silver Lion at the Venice International Film Festival. What a great honor that is. And quite frankly, I'm honored to have him on the show, and I'm a little bit nervous as well. This is a big freaking deal. I never hear from my brother when I put out the guest list for this program. He knows nothing about combat sports. I put out Benny Safdie is going to be on the show. He's like, holy shit, you got Benny Safdie on the show? We did, in fact, get him on the program and let us say hello right here and now to him, as he is kind enough to join us on this Tuesday afternoon. Hello, Benny. How are you?
What's going on? What a pleasure to be here. Man, oh man.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot. In fact, I feel like we actually have a lot in common. You're, I believe, of Syrian descent, a Syrian Jew. My name, Helwani. Right. Is of Syrian descent. My great-grandparents were from Syria, Jewish as well, New Yorker. So I feel like we have a lot. In another life, maybe we're best friends.
Yeah, you know, and it's like I feel like it's the kind of thing, where there's a shared experience, you know, that comes to play just by having all that built-in history, you know. So I didn't know that about you. That's wild.
Yes, and so I'm rooting for your success, and I'm so happy that you made this film. And I don't know if you heard some of our talking before, but I saw it yesterday, and truthfully was blown away and adored it.
It means a lot coming from like your expertise, because that's something I really wanted. Because I love combat sports. I love boxing. You know, I went to a UFC fight with my stepfather in 2002, and I really wanted it to be as authentic as possible. And I wanted it to feel like that's what it was like. And part of me was like, I wish I was there, you know? And so I wanted to make it feel like you were there by watching the movie, you know? So I had a shirt. My wife got it for me. It was an early UFC shirt that says as real as it gets on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my go-to for the whole movie.
As you are making the film and you're so entrenched and you're feeling so strongly about it, you're probably wondering at some point, okay, how's this going to be received? Now that you are starting to see the reviews come in, you're winning awards, the ovation in Venice, shows like ours are talking about it in glowing terms. Does the pressure come off? Can you relax a little bit? Are you happy that you feel like you've actually done what you set out to do?
It's interesting because well, first of all, am I lagging or is that just me?
No, you're perfect on our end.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't
No, you're great.
You
you're
know,
great.
like when you call into a show and you hear yourself. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Are you distracted right now? Are you distracted?
I'm not distracted. Okay. But what I wanted to say there is the pressure doesn't really go away because the reason I made the movie is I wanted it to connect with people. So every time it screens, I get nervous because I want people to respond to certain things. I want them to feel certain things in the moment. And what was really beautiful about the response in Venice was I don't really expect people to notice it. You know, you try to do certain things and then maybe it's going to happen and maybe it'll work. And when I got that response, it's like I'm looking out into the audience and it's like I'm having these 5-second conversations with people just with my eyes where they're clapping about the movie, but I could see that they really cared about what they had just went through. You know, the experience of being in the mind of this guy, because that's what I wanted to do. And the fact that it connected was really beautiful. But then again, it's I'll go to another screening and I'll be just as nervous. Yesterday we had the premiere and I could barely eat, before it. And I think it's just because there's a lot of me in that movie too. I really felt like I connected with Mark in a very deep way. And I wanted to tell his story and I want to be truthful to it. And I love sports. I did boxing for a lot and I've sparred with people. When they ask you to spar, you're like, really, me? Isn't it? It's the best feeling in the world when you get chosen to get your ass kicked, which is such a strange thing. And I remember just that beautiful camaraderie amongst everybody in the boxing gym. I would do it at Mendez and then it closed in 2019. It reopened just uptown, but I got to know all these fighters and, I got to talk to them and they would kind of really explain to me the things in their life. And I would tell them the things in my life. I told my coach Moses about my first son being born before I told anybody else.
Wow.
You really get close when you go down there. You just kind of disappear, and I love the world, and it's so exciting to me, especially when a big fight is going to happen, and you get together with your friend and you watch it. And there was a fight. There was this Rafael Vasquez is his name. He's a boxer, and he won the Fedleton title this night at the Resort World Casino in Queens. And he was my trainer. And I went out to support him. And he was going up against a guy called Leon Hurry Up Moore. And he was 30-2. And at that point, I guess this was maybe towards the end of Rafi's potential boxing career. And nobody expected him to win. And he hits this guy. I've never seen anything like it. He hits him and he just goes down like a board. And everybody in his corner, I'm with him and his family and friends, and we just jumped up. There's video of it somewhere. It just was an explosion. And it wasn't necessarily that he won that was so exciting. It was that I was connected to the guy in there. And I felt that's the most incredible feeling in the world. And I wanted to do that with the movie, is put you in there with the person. So you feel what they're going through because they're dealing with a lot of other stuff in addition to fighting, and when they get hit, it hurts even more when you're connected to the person,
Well, I think you have nailed that with this film 100%. Can I ask, I remember being at the press conference when Dwayne Johnson announced that he was going to be doing it 2019 November, Madison Square Garden Theater before a UFC event. At that point, are you attached to it? And if not, how do you come on board?
So at that point, I was not. I think at that point, Dwayne was he wanted he knew he wanted to tell Mark's story. And then I met with him pretty quickly after that. And instantly I was just like, ooh, I love this. And, you know, it's like I had made a documentary with my brother Lenny Cook about a sports figure in 2001, you know, when this documentary was made. And then there was another documentary that I was involved in called Telemarketers, which was the same time period. And so I really felt like I understood this part and time, and I wanted to go back there. And it was just like, I remember talking to Dwayne in 2019 and just really realizing, oh, I know he could really destroy this role. And it wasn't until like later, because like COVID happens and then other projects get in the way, and it just kind of pushed it away. And I found the Nautica sweater.
Wow.
You know, I have it right here.
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about this.
So here it is. The Nautica sweater.
Wow.
You know, I found a version of it.
Wow.
It was triple XL, but it had a blue stripe across it. And I thought there was something really beautiful that Mark, that was his decision, his fashion decision. And I thought that was awesome. And I got that and I sent it to Dwayne with the idea of like, you know, whatever happens with this movie, if I'm involved, if I'm not, I really would love to. But I said, when you become Mark, put on this sweater before, and maybe it'll help you get into his mind a little bit, you know. But he never got the sweater. But now it's great because it's like now I got to recreate it.
Oh my God.
I got it for myself. You know, but.
And those little details, by the way, as someone who watched the doc in 2002 and watched Pride back there, like when we're watching it.
By the way, here, look at this.
That is it. That's the Brad. Is that the Brad Slater belt?
That's the Brad Slater belt right there.
Can you tell us that story? Brad Slater, of course, longtime agent for Dwayne Johnson, told me that he gifted you that belt at the beginning of this.
Yes, at the very beginning, he gave me that, and it was so meaningful to me because, like, it's really heavy, you know, and it's like I've always wanted a championship belt. You know, there's something about it because it's like, yeah, right before we started this process, really early on, we met, had burgers, and he had that sitting on the table, and I just was like, wow. And then I came home with it, and then my like youngest son, who's 6, he saw it. He's like, oh my God. And then he put it on. He was walking around with it, and it just does something. You know, it's great. I love. It's also just like the logo. Everything about that time was just awesome. You know, like Ultraman, like all these.
Yeah.
The graphics of that era were incredible. You know, but just like having this thing, you know, just. It's like, because it's like deep down, I think everybody always wants to be like in sports in some way, just because like you idolize those people, you know? And so like when I sit down for something like this and get to go on your show and talk about it, you know, or do a round table with like Sports Illustrated, it makes me feel I'm like, oh wow, I'm kind of close.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. I decided, we were debating this before watching the film among my team members here, whether or not we should watch the doc again before or watch the film and then watch the doc. I decided to watch it again to refresh my memory because I wanted to see how you decided to weave through it and honor it and then take your own kind of liberties. And I love the fact that I made that decision for this reason, and I wanted to ask you about this. The way the documentary is cut almost feels, it's not like The Last Dance that you see today with, you know, there's interviews and it's all very nice and polished. It almost feels like a home video that's spliced together. And even some of the cuts are not very clean, like it's like mid-answer. And there's even, for example, one thing that I noticed that struck me, at the very beginning of the documentary and the film, there's that rules meeting where the woman is explaining that you can't knee to the head of the grounded opponent.
Yeah.
And it starts off with her apologizing for them being late. Like, I'm sorry for keeping you. And you even kept that dialogue in the film, which is a total nothing, like little part. How did you decide to keep some of those little things as a nod to the doc and to, you know, maybe clean it up a little bit?
Well, yeah. So I love the documentary, and I actually just saw John Hyams yesterday, and it was like such an incredible thing because like I wanted him to see this thing because like it's funny that you mentioned those little moments because it's like those are the things that I couldn't believe actually happened, you know? And so what I could do is, I could give that room a more extreme backdrop. I could put it with this, like in this place, the Crystal Ballroom. I could make it a little bit bigger, you know? I could shoot it on 16 millimeter to kind of give it a different vibe, you know, that, cause like you said, it was shot on I think DV or digital, and I wanted it to expand a little bit because I loved what he documented, and that story could have been lost forever had it not been for him. And it's very meaningful to me that exists. And I want to honor that, like you said. But like those moments of true reality are what I needed to keep in the movie, because that's what kind of makes the performance that Dwayne gives, the performance that Emily gives, and Ryan, you know, I'm basically holding them up to the real thing. And I'm basically putting everything on the line, saying like, all right, did I achieve it? Did I do it? Maybe. There's no net at that point. And that's how I like to operate, you know? And so it's interesting because there are certain times in the documentary where he's talking to John, most likely. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know, I should make him talking to Dawn, because what's really happening here is there's a disconnect between the two of them. And it's like, I know, how do you explain to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with fighting, but how do you explain to the person who you're with and who you love why you're doing what you do? You know, there's a song, the John Prine song, is how the hell can somebody go to work in the morning and come back in the evening and have nothing to say? And I think that's very important. So I took him trying to explain what it was and why he felt the way he did after he just got kneed in the head. And at that point lost. He didn't know it was a no contest. And so I wanted to have him have that disconnect with Dawn. So I'm thinking about how to deepen certain things and broaden the feelings, you know, to connect with an audience in a way that is different, you know. And I also wanted, at the very end, I wanted you to be hopeful. I wanted you to feel really good about it, because that documentary existed at that time and it ended in that time. And the movie doesn't. The movie is now. It's looking back 25 years, sometimes 30. And I wanted you to feel a certain way. I wanted you to feel good about life. You know, I wanted you to experience this movie in such a deep way, but come out looking at the world just a little bit happier, you know, like you could be through a ton of shit, you know, and just like come out on the other side. And isn't that great? You know?
Three central figures.
Just quickly to your point.
Sure.
I remember I was obsessed with finding that scooter. You know, there's a shot of the scooter, and I was just like, I'm going all in. We to build this thing. It's like, and in Japan, they don't have a lot of stuff specifically from that time period, because everything is always new there. Yeah. So they're like, why would we keep something from 1999? You know? So we got that scooter, and the shot, it was almost like necromancy, bringing something back from the dead, you know, bring it back to life. Because when that happened, and I saw Maseo, the cinematographer, filming that scooter and it going off into the distance, I'm like, we're there. We did it. We went back to the time, you know? And I heard actually what you said about the Pride broadcast.
Yeah.
And that was something that was really important to me, was I needed Stephen Quadros in this movie.
Yep.
You know, and there was a lot of conversation because he's a very unique announcer.
Yep.
He has his own style. And I really wanted him to be the voice, because he was the voice back then. And I ended up writing 10 pages because I realized I could use him as the narrator for the movie, you know? So when they're coming out, I didn't want any commentary during the fights, because I wanted the fights to feel like you were actually there ringside. So there's no cameras in the ring. I stay on the outside, and that's the point of view. If you were there, I'm going to give you the best seat in the house, and to feel like what it's like. These things are fast, furious, violent, and you're just like, you're there for the ride. So I didn't want the announcers to come into play, because also Pride was very quiet. So you could hear the corners talking, and you could hear that and see the micro decisions change as it was going on. But I remember listening to the broadcast and watching these Pride fights. And when he said, this is the first time a Pride fight has ever been broadcast in North America, I thought, I need that to be in this movie, because how awesome will it be in a theater in North America to people who maybe have never heard of Pride? To them, this is the first time a Pride broadcast is ever going to be broadcast, you know? So I thought that was really special. I'm glad that you caught that.
All the little details, the Hofstra shirt, full contact fighter, bad boy.
Yes.
I was transported back to that time, which is when I fell in love with the sport, with Pride. We were exposed to it. I know we're running out of time. I could speak to you for an hour here. I just wanted to ask, if possible, 2 more questions. And the first one was, the 3 central figures obviously are Mark Kerr, Mark Coleman, and Dawn, his girlfriend at the time, then wife. How involved are they on the set? Do you have them there all the time? Do you check in with them? How do you do that? How do you balance that act?
Yeah, so Mark came specifically also during the fights, you know, and he came and he taught the fighters, and he talked to DJ about how to like do a takedown fundamentally, you know, because I wanted Dwayne to do a lot of this stuff. You know, I wanted to see him because I didn't want to cut away, because I knew that would take you out of the realism of the moment. So he's doing this stuff. He's getting punched, and you can't really fake that stuff. There's certain things you can, but there's a specific fight where when he gets hit, he gets hit. And so Mark came because I wanted him to experience the recreation of the Pride arena. And he talked to all the fighters because I thought that would be really special for him to come as this like OG, to come in and spread his knowledge. And all throughout the movie, I spoke to him. I would talk to him for 2.5 hours at a time, just because I wanted to get to know him. And I felt it was really important to understand who he was. And I thought he needed to know who I am in order to make this. That scene was.
Oh, yeah.
I was wrecked after that, because I know what it feels like to hold on to somebody, to protect them for their dear life. And it's not a nice feeling, and it's very difficult. And when they did that, it was really, I saw it and I was just like, we got that. So we did that part of it in one time. And I said to them in the beginning, if you guys end up on the floor, that would be great, but I don't want to hamstring you in any way. I want it to just happen. And so anyway,
one take. That was one take. When you say one time,
that part in the bathroom when he's at the door, that was one take.
Wow.
The rest of the argument was
sure
different. I structured it actually how I shot the fights, which was interesting. I looked at it as the same thing. You know, this is a different kind of fight. It's just as physical and demanding. So I shot it in sections, you know, and that was like how we would do the fights. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do that with an emotional argument? And then Emily spoke to Dawn, and because she wanted to, again, be truthful to her experience. You know, we're not pulling any punches, but I wanted everybody because they're still alive. And that's very meaningful to me. And I want them to have this movie as a positive experience. I want them to look back. I don't want them to feel used by it. I want them to really be proud of it and stand by the fact that they're standing up for what they felt. And yes, it might be messed up and complicated and toxic, but I want them to be okay with how it's being portrayed. And that's part of why I was in constant communication with them. And the fact that they can come to screenings and be as proud and happy, it really does. That's part of why I made this movie, you know, is I wanted to shine a light on like people like Coleman and people like Mark and Boz, like who might not be as like celebrated in certain ways, but like they should be, you know, because they built something. What exists now came from somewhere. You know, there's a legacy there, and I feel like that's necessary. But like with Dawn and Mark, I really wanted them to feel like emotionally I was being truthful, and that meant I had to like get to know them. And when I showed them, I was really nervous because like they lived this life, and yes, things are changed and they're made broader, and I'm doing things that are different, you know, but I want to get at what was really the truth there. So
I appreciate you saying that about the history of the sport, because I don't feel like we celebrate. MMA in particular does a horrible job of celebrating. The new fans don't know who these guys are, and they should, unlike baseball and basketball. So thank you for saying that. What did you want to say? Sorry?
You had another question.
Yes, I did have one last one. Yeah. I just want to ask about standing outside the subway, handing out flyers like you did many, many moons ago, to be so accomplished, to be so successful now. Look at this. This was a great thing that you posted online. Why do you feel the need to do this again at this point in your career?
Well, I still have it just in case I got to do it again. There it is.
I love it.
So the thing is like, part of it is somebody showed me a picture of like, oh, look at where you were and look at where you are now. There was a tweet of that. And they said, what's changed? And I thought to myself, I hope not a lot. You know, I kind of I'm the same person. And to prove that to myself, and was just like, I'm going to go back out there and I'm going to do this because I can curse on this, right?
Sure.
Who the fuck am I? You know, like I don't have any shame. I'm going to go out there. I want people to see this movie. And I said to A24, print me 1,000 flyers because I'm going to hand out every single one. So I spoke to 1,000 people that day, and I went on the subway. I went to every movie theater. I did it, and some people looked at me like I was crazy, and they just threw me off. And I think it's important, you know, to feel that, you know, because like at the end of the day, it's like I just want people to get out and see it. And it was really, I really relished talking to people and getting to have those conversations, and standing out there and doing this was just, it was fun for me, you know, and it was fun in the sense that I liked when people looked at me like, get away from me. I'm not interested. And then I'd be like, I made the movie, and they're like, I don't care. And it's like, great. And so it's like, there is an element that like, I thrive on that kind of stuff. And I really just wanted to like, let people know that like, hey, please go see my movie. This is meaningful to me. I care about it. And I care about it so much that I'm going to do this. You know, I'll hand out flyers. I got nothing else to do.
I love that. There's a great lesson to be learned there. Congratulations, Benny. Sincerely.
Thank you.
I have always said that The Smashing Machine is the greatest MMA documentary of all time. And now you have just made the greatest MMA film of all time. And
my God.
I don't think that there is a close second. And that is sincere. And I think the rest of my team agrees as well. So congratulations.
That means, because coming from you, that's huge, man. Thank you.
And it's not recency bias. Truly is. So congratulations. Enjoy all the success that comes with this. And thank you so much for coming on the show. A huge, huge honor for us.
Please, it was my pleasure. This was great. And I hope I did justice to the realism of the fights, and I hope that when people who are fans of the sport go see it, that I did right by you.
You did.
So thank you.
You should know that. October 3rd, out nationwide and around the world. And of course, I should end by saying go Knicks. I think you're a big Knicks fan like I am.
Oh my God, yeah.
So big year coming up for us.
I can't wait. I'm scared because it's like I don't like going in as
no.
like a favorite.
Yeah.
We're underdogs all the time.
Yes, always.
So I don't want to get into that. I'm like, hey, don't even talk to me about that.
Thank you, Benny. All the best to you. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Congrats.
Thank you. This was great.
There he is, the great Benny Safdie, the director of The Smashing Machine. And man, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. What a guy, what a character, what a personality, what a spirit. And really, I can't say this enough. If you are a longtime fan of the sport, you will adore the movie. If you're a newer fan, you will love and appreciate the movie. If you are not an MMA fan or combat sports fan, you're probably not listening to me right now, but tell your significant others, tell them that this is worth their time, because it really was a wonderful film and a wonderful trip down memory lane. All right, let us speak to another legend in his own right, and he has a big night tomorrow in Nigeria, promoting, I do believe, his second event, a big boxing event in Nigeria. Our good friend Ariel Oladipo is there. We're talking to the great Amir Khan right now, who is kind enough to join us from all the way in Nigeria. Is he there? Yes, there he is. Hello, Amir. How are you?
How are you, brother? Long time.
Yes.
Ariel, it's been forever.
It has been forever, but I really appreciate you joining us. You're in Nigeria right now, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I'm in Nigeria now. We did the press conference yesterday. We did the weigh-in today, and it's been a fantastic turnout. We're looking at the event tomorrow now to have around 15 to 20,000 people there. I mean, it's a fantastic show here in Nigeria. It's hard to explain how nice this place is, and the hospitality, the love that we're getting from the people has been nothing but amazing. So I'm really happy that what the team's done, and the team that we have in Nigeria, how we've put this together, it's going to be an awesome event.
So the event is entitled Chaos in the Ring, October 1st, which happens to be Nigeria's Independence Day. And you have sort of focused on this region, on this part of the world as an untapped market, so to speak, right? Because I think you've promoted an event there before. Why do you think people aren't going there, and why are they making a mistake by not going to Africa?
So, Africa, in my opinion, it seems like it's the forgotten continent where no one's really going there for boxing. But there's so much amazing talent over here that needs to be showcased. Now, if you look at the boxers around the world, like the Anthony Joshua's and, the African fighters like Deontay Wilder, so many, and Atuma as well, so many great fighters, but no one's touching this region. And I decided I did an event in Ghana not long ago, about 2 months ago. And then I met some friends there and they said that, look, we want you to do the same show that you did in Ghana in Nigeria, because Nigeria is a massive city. Lagos is a massive city and they love boxing. So obviously we started talking and we saw the shows that they've already done before. The shows are amazing. There's so much entertainment there. And we're gonna mix it with entertainment and boxing at the same time. It's gonna be live on DAZN. I mean, the amount of sponsors that we had on the show that want to be on the show as well is fantastic. And the great names that we've got on there. Look, the main fight's going to be Brandon Glanton against
Marcus Brown.
Marcus Brown, that was it, just right in my head. And Marcus Brown, obviously, this is a fight where I think winning this, whoever wins this fight goes on to bigger and better things. And if you think about it, between the two, they've got about 40 wins. There's only five or six losses between the two, but it does look like an amazing fight. Styles make fights. And also, they've sparred with each other. There's a lot of bad blood in this fight. So we decided to, if it ever happened, that was because these guys really, really hate each other. And at the press conference, it kicked off. So look, I know it's going to be an exciting fight, and these guys are going to give it their all because none of them want to lose.
I like it on a Wednesday. Not a lot of competition for you guys, so that's great as well for fans watching on television, on DAZN. Could I ask, why are you getting into the promotional side of things? Like you said, your second event, you had a great one back in June. Why jump into this side? We've seen other fighters do it. Why is this right for you?
I think it's great for me with the name I have. I mean, whenever we come to these type of countries, for example, we went to Ghana, we met the president's children. They fully supported us. So I get right to the top. I mean, say in Nigeria, I'm supposed to meet the president today, but maybe that's going to happen tomorrow morning of Nigeria. I mean, they give us the whole shebang. They tell us, listen, we want you to we know you as the great fighter you was back in the day, but now going into promotion, they know what I'm capable of, what type of shows I want to put on. I mean, most of the cards, when I used to fight with Golden Boy or Al Heyman, I used to pick most of the undercards who I wanted on the show. So I kind of know about my boxing. I know what sells, who's going to sell, how they're going to put bums on seats, and what fights are going to be exciting. So that's the reason I thought, you know what? Instead of me having this knowledge, I might as well put it to test. And that's what I did. I did my first couple of shows early, a couple in the UK and a couple in Dubai. And then I thought, you know what? I need to get a team together now. So we went to Ghana, and Ghana was our first show, which went so well. And now Nigeria back to back. So I'm going to keep busy, man. I'm going to do another show in hopefully Nigeria towards the end of the year. And then probably want to do one in Dubai as well towards the end of the year as well. So I'm keeping myself busy. Look, as a fighter, as a retired fighter, I know the game inside out. And it's always good to get input from a retired fighter. I'll sometimes call these retired fighters like Lennox Lewis and other fighters and learn from them. What am I making any mistakes here? How can I become a better promoter? How can I change the sport of boxing for these young fighters? And obviously, I know what mistakes were made when I was a fighter. So hopefully, I don't want to make the same mistakes there. The main thing is to pay the fighters well and to treat them fairly and treat them good. And look, that includes like nice hotels, making sure that they looked after well. Press conferences has to be the whole shebang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the weigh-in. And also, not only that, having a great television broadcasting team on board. That way, their skills are going to be showcased around the world. That's why we've got DAZN. So look, at the moment, things are going really well. I'm enjoying every little bit of it. And it's people like yourselves, Ariel, who are supporting me. We're doing these interviews when people are getting to know more about what Amir Khan's doing now, going into the promotional game. Without you guys and the media and the press, this wouldn't be possible. You know what I mean? You lot make my work a little bit easier.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Could I ask, who do you think is doing it best right now as far as promotion in boxing? Who maybe you're looking at, you're trying to learn a little bit from? Is there someone that you think is doing best, or do you think everyone's doing it wrong?
No. They're all doing it. They're all doing a great job. I mean, what Turki Al-Sheikh has done to the sport of boxing, bringing the best versus the best, putting the biggest fights on. I mean, look, that first, I got a message from Turki Al-Sheikh back in 2021 saying, Amir, I want to perform a heavyweight fight. Now, I didn't understand what he meant. I said to him, well, I'm a lightweight. He said, no. Can you get me like Fury? And I got him Fury. I picked up the phone to Spencer Brown, and I said, they want Tyson Fury, Saudi Arabia. Tyson was in a low point of his career where he was thinking of probably retiring or not boxing again. But this kind of gave him that second life line. And he's gone there and made tons of money. And but look, the thing is now, I realize one thing as a promoter. See, I'm too honest as a person. I just pick up the phone and say, I connect two dots together. And I said, there you go, guys. Whereas I got nothing out of it, or I never even got any, not even a thank you. So the thing is now, I think being in the promotional game now, doing contracts, doing agreements with people, and then making things happen. And since I've been doing that, things are happening a lot.
Okay. Very interesting. I don't know if you've been following this story here in America, but there's Zuffa Boxing starting with Dana White spearheading TKO. How do you think they're going to do? Because they're the new kid on the block as well, trying to make some waves. They just announced a new TV deal yesterday. What do you think of what you've been seeing out of them?
Look, whenever Turki Al-Sheikh is doing anything in boxing, he's doing it at the best and doing it at the biggest. I mean, having someone like Dana White, who's proven how good of a promoter he is, especially in UFC and where he's taking UFC. I'm sure he can do the same with boxing. Boxing needs a new face. Boxing needs a face like Dana White, who's going to change the sport up and get more excitement and get more bums on seats. And also with Turkey, the best are fighting the best. There's no easy way in this game now. The best have to fight the best. If you say you're a world champion, prove it by fighting the best. There's no hiding in this game anymore. And that's what we see in UFC. And that's what Dana wants to do in boxing. So big respect to Turkey, to the ring, to everybody, because they have changed the sport of boxing. If you look at what's happened in the last probably 5 years of boxing, the best have back-to-back fought each other. And this is something we never used to see. I mean, it never happened back in the day where you'll see two great heavyweights because they want too much money. But Turkey's like, put the money to a side. I want the best to fight the best. You want big paychecks? I'll give you the paychecks. And you know what? He's proven it not only once, but many times. So you have to give that respect to Turki Al-Sheikh. Because of him, this is happening. And also, now with this fight against Terence Crawford and Canelo, what a fight that was. I mean, it broke massive numbers, you know what I mean? It broke records. I mean, this was a fight that no one ever thought they were ever going to see. Two of the best fighting each other. Wow. I mean, what Turkey did there and what he pulled off there was awesome.
Were you surprised by the result?
No, I wasn't. No, I knew that Crawford was going to win. You see, when I watched Crawford train back in Omaha, Nebraska, and when I was in Colorado Springs, he came into my camp. He helped me out a little bit, but at the same time, I seen him sparring some heavyweight guys. I seen him wrestling some heavy, big guys, and I thought, wow. So I asked him, I go, look, do you have like a wrestling background? He goes, yeah, we're like state champion. So that showed to me that this guy is a solid, strong person. Like no one can push him around. No one can dictate. No one's going to put pressure on him where he's going to feel hurt because he knows how to control the ring. When it comes to box IQ, like his IQ in boxing is probably the best. I mean, he knows what punch to throw. He knows how to maneuver these heavier, big hitters and also take away their power and put his own shots in. So yeah, he's up there, one of the best ever, really.
You know, as an ex-fighter champion, I'm just curious. We heard yesterday, Dana White says he's not going to acknowledge the WBC, IBF, WBO. He's going to have his own belt and the ring belt. And they want to potentially make changes to the Ali Act as well. This is a big thing here in America. How do you feel about, is it time to make these changes and evolve, or are you more old school and think they shouldn't happen?
Ariel, I think it's the time boxing needed to change a little bit, right? And I know there's so many belts out there, not to sound disrespectful. I like the WBC, I like the WBA, IBF, I won all their titles, WBO. But the thing is, there has to be just that one big title that everyone fights for and we know who the number one is. Because at the moment, with all these different titles, you don't know. Someone might come over to you and say, I'm a world champion. Like, I've never heard of you. But like, And how did he win the world title? Who did he fight for the world title? And these guys can then pick their fights and pick who they want to fight. So I think it makes it better. With someone like Turkey and Dana, they're going to make sure the biggest names and the best names are going to fight each other. And there's only one title that they fight for, because the money on that title is going to be so much money that people are going to be, people are not going to turn that down. So end of the day, I think what comes down is the money, one title and one champion. That's what it boils down to. And I think what Turki Al-Sheikh is doing, this massive change that they're making, and with Dana, I think it's fantastic for boxing, because we're going to know who the super champion is going to be now.
I remember not that long ago, there was some talk of maybe you fighting on a Misfits card, maybe you and KSI. What happened to all of that?
Look, I get a lot of calls about misfits and stuff. And honestly, Ariel, I've had my time in my boxing career. I've had a great career. I've won what I wanted to win. I probably did more than I've expected. Went to Olympics, won medals there and everything. So now my time is just to enjoy the sport, enjoy what I've made in the game. The thing was, I was very smart with my money. I made a lot of money in the sport for the biggest names in the sport. And, it's all about investing now and making sure you look forward in life, and your kids are growing up, and I want to be spending time with them. I don't want to be in the ring where my kids see me taking a punch or getting hurt. In boxing, you're always at one punch away from getting hurt. Everything I made in the sport of boxing, I want to enjoy it now. I want to enjoy the fruits of it. And also, if I'm getting into this promotion business, because I want fighters to make money. I don't want fighters to make the wrong mistakes that I made, that I thought maybe I made. But look, end of the day, we prize fighters, and we have to make the most money, win the titles, and also live a good life once you retire. Because I never want to be one of those fighters, and I hate seeing young fighters older fighters who have been retired that are coming back and fighting these young guys. I mean, someone's gonna get hurt badly one day, and it's not nice to see. It's not nice to see to the likes of like these Mike Tysons and these Roy Jones, who are legends in the sport, even Mayweathers and stuff, that taking these fights with these YouTubers or these guys out there. So look, it's dangerous, and I think someone's gonna get hurt badly one day. And I hope. And look, this is something that Turki Al-Sheikh is against as well. He is the face of boxing, in my opinion, now, because it's the biggest fights he's making, and also he made it clear that he does not want to do any exhibitions. He wants the best to fight the best, and only wants to do big fights.
Do you still consider Jake Paul a YouTuber, or do you feel like he has become a fighter? Has he earned your respect in that regard?
You know what? He has a little bit. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think he's earned his respect by having a couple of good fights and beating some good fighters. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think he now. But when he said that he's gonna fight someone like these Mike Tysons, I mean, that is a little bit disrespectful in my opinion, because Mike's such a legend that Mike shouldn't have never taken that fight. But like I said, the money must have been so crazy, and yeah, I just feel that look, he's proving it, but not proving it with the elite fighter that's still got it.
What about the
imagine
tank
him
fight?
fighting someone like a Canelo.
What about the tank fight?
I mean, size. Come on, bro. Like, look at the size difference. These guys are, man, Tank's tiny compared to Jake Paul. There's weights for a reason in boxing. You know what I mean? And let's just hope that, because one thing we can say is that he can punch hard. So one thing, let's hope that Tank doesn't take a big shot and gets hurt by it, because end of the day, this is boxing now. One punch can change not only the fight win, or when you winning the fight or losing the fight, but it can change your life as well.
We had heard about a potential exhibition fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul happening in India, that there was a lot of interest in that. And I feel like India, I remember you were involved with the Super Fight League in India way back in the day. And I feel like India, Pakistan, there's such huge, such massive populations there that these are untapped markets as well. Do you have any interest? Do you have any desires to hold fights in Pakistan, in India, to see if you can, open up those regions too?
So my next move gonna be going to Pakistan and doing some shows over there. I've got great connections in government and also politics. Obviously, my family originally come from Pakistan. Also, I've been to India. I've done many shows over there. But the thing is now, with a country, if you combine the two countries together, you're looking at almost 1.5, maybe 2 million people. 2
billion.
2 billion. Yeah, almost 2 billion people live in combining them two countries together. 2 billion. Now, you telling me you can't find world champions out of that place? You can't find hard, strong, young fighters, hungry fighters that want to make a name. So I think that's a region, in my opinion, that's going to pop off soon. At the moment, it's not kicked off yet, but I think there will come a time, just like how the Middle East has now taken over boxing on the promotional side. When it comes to fighters, I think India, Pakistan, with the population they have, almost 2 billion, is going to shine. And there's going to come a time, because I've seen some of the talent there, but the only thing is that no one gives them that door to open, to go into the big mega fights. I think people have forgot about India, Pakistan. But now, like you see, another country, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, that's another country that people forgot about. But look how many great champions have come out from those nations. Pakistan is no different. India is no different. I think the best will come out there. And as soon as you give them that opportunity, and you need more than just the opportunity. What they need to start on, this is the government, this is a message to the government of both nations, is to build boxing academies, build boxing gyms, build loads of them, so that then people have things to do. The thing is, there's probably a handful of boxing gyms, that's all in the whole country, when they've got a massive population, but no one's promoting the sport of boxing in those regions. They need to promote it more, they need to talk about it more, they need to showcase them on television, so people then take interest in the sport of boxing. But I just feel that Pakistan and India love cricket, which is their number one sport, and all the focus is on one sport, nothing else. So really, if they kind of change that and turn their focus onto boxing a little bit, you will get some great champions coming out of those countries.
I'd be remiss if I don't ask you. 2 weeks ago, we heard the tragic news of Ricky Hatton's passing. I saw your great tribute to him online. Could I just ask, what comes to mind? What memories, what thoughts come to mind when you think of the Hitman?
I met him the first time, and he came over and said hi to me, and he was a superstar then. I was just qualified for Olympic Games, and everyone knew him, and he walked over to me and said, "Hey, Amir Khan, I've heard of you, and I've been watching and following your career." Ricky Hatton was a legend in and outside the boxing ring. What he did for boxing, he inspired so many great people, and inspired me definitely to go to America, to fight the big names in America. And we did so many events together, we did so many dinner shows together, and he was a very dear close friend of mine. Now, he was flying to Dubai on the day he died. There was police outside the house. I remember a friend of mine who's going to go pick him up from there. His name's Dave. Dave was going to pick him up to take him to the airport. He had a flight booked for Dubai because he's doing an exhibition fight against Isa Alda. And when he saw that the police were there, they turned him away and said, we can't tell you too much information, but you need to leave this scene. Then I find out that he killed himself. I just feel that I wish he picked up the phone and spoke to me. We were close. We were friends. But, when someone is going through so much tough times mentally, I just don't think he ever overcome the defeat against Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao. He was a gem of a guy. I just wish that he had spoke to someone, because a guy like him, he'll never be forgotten. He was a great champion. And like I said, he inspired so many great champions, especially in the UK.
Obviously, his mental health struggles were well known. Did you know he was struggling as of late?
So no, not really, because he was supposed to come and see me in Dubai. We were going to have dinner together. And when he messaged me that he's flying over, I said, yeah, it'll be lovely to see you, Ricky. I asked him if him being picked up from the airport. He said, I've got all that arranged. I'll be at my hotel. I'll be resting. But I'll message you and we'll work it out. And then I heard this tragic news that he had died. So, you know what? I would love to have sat down with him. And, at times, the last time I met him properly was at the Wembley Stadium when AJ fought against, I think it was
Dubois. Yeah.
Yeah. And me and Ricky were sat there and we were chatting and laughing, and you could still see how down he was, how upset he was. Like inside, like everyone's having a laugh, and he was just in his own little world, quiet. And I should have just spoke to him, but obviously we just carrying on with the night. I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable, but that kind of gave me signs there's something more deeper in his life that's going on, And I wish his family all the very best, because it's a big loss, especially his father, his mother, his kids. I mean, it's hard to see that, a legend in the sport of boxing. He was always respected and always took time out for his fans, always took time out for his people, which not many people do. I mean, remember the days in Vegas when he would fight there? He'd go out in the crowd and hang out with them, and even stay a couple of days after the fight to have a pint with all the British fans that flew over all the way from England. I mean, these are things that people are going to remember. He was a people's champion.
Yes, well said. I'll leave you with this. Can I ask what's a dream fight that you would love to promote? Who versus who in a venue, in a country? Give us the dream Amir Khan fight.
Okay, so say current boxing,
Yeah.
I just feel that if we was to pick two fighters, I mean, everyone in Africa loves the heavyweights, right?
Yeah.
So let's pick someone like Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. We could do that somewhere in Africa. What a mega fight that would be. That'd be a huge fight. And I mean, with the people I know now, maybe that's something that we can make happen. Who knows? But because there was talks about Joshua going to Ghana and doing a boxing fight there, because he was at my last event in Ghana which I promoted. But I heard that boxing has been banned in that country because so many fighters have died. I mean, this year alone, 2 fighters died in the ring. So they need to sort out the commission before they make any sort of movement there. But look, that's one fight I'd love to do. Maybe in Nigeria, because one thing, AJ is from Nigeria. He's a big name over here. And I'm sure he'd love to fight in his motherland.
Okay, well, I wish you the best. Tomorrow we'll be watching on DAZN. And it's great what you're doing over there in Nigeria, and it's great to see you on the promotional side of things, Amir. Good luck to you. Congrats on all your success, and thank you for giving us some time this evening.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. And it's always a pleasure speaking to you, bro.
Same here. There he is, Amir Khan, the silver medalist from way back in the day, the 2004 Summer Olympic Games in Athens, Georgia. He was just 17 years young when he won that silver medal. Obviously, won many a title in the world of boxing, as he said, and fought a lot of big names. Fought the likes of Chris Algieri, Marcos Maidana, Paulie Malignaggi, Marco Antonio Barrera. Beat those guys. Fought the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, Lamont Peterson, and others as well. So certainly knows what he talks about when he is talking about the world of boxing. And his event, Chaos in the Ring, goes down tomorrow, October 1st, at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos, Nigeria, which tomorrow, October 1st, happens to be Nigeria's Independence Day. So cool stuff there. All right, let us move along. Our final guest of the day is waking up super early. I tried to give him as much time as possible, stick him at the very end of the program, because where he is right now, in Brisbane to be exact, it is currently 5:30 in the morning. And I told his manager, the great Danny Rubenstein, I feel bad. I love having these guys on, especially, the Aussies, New Zealanders. I love having them on, but I feel bad making them wake up. Perhaps he is staying up. Perhaps he hasn't gone to bed just yet. And I wouldn't be surprised. He's on quite the roll. He's won his last 4 in a row. He's coming off a very impressive, dominant submission win over Charlie Campbell this past Saturday, or technically Sunday, in Perth. And so we wanted to have the big train on, Mr. Tom Nolan. He is kind enough to join us right here and now on this Tuesday/Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, Tom. How are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
You hate us right now?
Nah, it's all good, man. It's only 5:30. It's not too bad. To be honest, I'm all right.
Okay. Well, I always like to make sure. Did you stay up all night, or did you just wake up?
Nah, I just woke up about 5 o'clock. So, yeah, I'm feeling all right. It's not too bad. It's only 2 hours difference from Perth.
Right.
So it would be 3:30 in the morning over there right now, which is about the time I was waking up to train for the fight and stuff anyway.
Yeah, and by the way, thank you so much for waking up. We appreciate it. Great to have you on the show. What about that? Because here in America, the event obviously aired in normal prime time Saturday night for us, but it was very early for you guys. How did you feel about that? And did you have to train the entire camp really early in the morning to acclimate?
Yeah, so to be honest, this time being on the main card was much better. Last year I fought in Perth, and it was like I think a 7 a.m. walk. So my morning hit out was at midnight that night before.
Jeez.
But the weigh-ins were at 7 in the morning the day before that. So like realistically, I had 12 hours to rehydrate and refuel and then get ready to go fight last time. So I didn't enjoy that much, to be honest. I was a little bit dreading this time. But then when I found out I was on the main card fighting at 10 a.m., which would be midday here, it was a lot of a relief. I was pretty happy with that, because ended up being about 3:30 wake up for a 4:30 shakeout, which is not too bad really.
So you've just won your 4th fight in a row. Very nice submission. Do you feel like the confidence is high? Do you feel like the momentum is in your favor? How are you feeling about the state of your career?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling awesome with where my career is at the moment. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. My confidence is definitely high. Yeah, I'm just on a roll, to be honest. I'm starting to prove everything I've known about myself to the world. Still, I believe, have so much more to show and so much more to go. Yeah, I'm only 25, so I've got a long road ahead of me in the UFC, but I'm really settling into the UFC now. I'm not trying to rush anything. The biggest change I've had with my mentality is I'm trying to make the fight the most high point of the fight week, not making weight or not the celebration or not what's to come after the fight when I win. I try not to think about those things anymore. I've changed my mindset to I just want to go in and enjoy the scrap as much as possible.
And so you recently got your BJJ black belt, right?
Yeah.
And this was your first submission win of your career, correct?
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision on your part? Because I saw afterwards that you were sort of, I don't know, maybe like biting back at some critics who said maybe you got it too fast. What was going on there? And was this a conscious decision on your part? Let me get a submission over a guy, by the way, who has never been submitted before, Charlie Campbell, and perhaps that will shut some people up.
Yeah, look, it was only one person. One person commented on something saying, "Oh, you got your black belt, but 0 subs?" ? And it wasn't even like they were being rude. They were just genuinely asking. And I guess that set off my subconscious because I went out and subbed him. Yeah, no one's ever questioned it in terms of anyone who's ever trained with me. I started in jiu-jitsu at 14 years old. So I was a brown belt for 4 years before I got my black belt. So it was definitely a well-timed and well-deserved thing. The only reason I've not subbed anyone, man, my amateur career was the same. I had 1 sub as an amateur. And the reason I got in the UFC at, 5-0, well, I got on Contenders at 5-0 as an Aussie, which is unheard of, is because I go out and I scrap, because that's what fans want to see. I'm looking to knock people out all the time because, again, that's just what fans want to see.
You also said something that I thought was really interesting in the post-fight presser. You said, it doesn't matter if I win as long as I actually enjoy the fight, or else what's the point? Most people would say the result matters, you need to win in order to go on a winning streak, and then you get title shots and more money and all that stuff. This sounds like, a participation trophy. As long as I have fun, it's like what I tell my kids. As long as you have fun, that's all that matters. You don't hear that from fighters. Why that mindset?
Yeah, so I got into this sport really young. I've always pursued the UFC. I've given absolutely everything to this game. I've been obsessed since day one. And when I lost to Moda, had my first professional loss, it was a really, really, really tough time in my life. It was a horrible time for me. I hated it so much. And I'm glad it happened now in hindsight, looking back. It was the best lessons I've ever learned. And it's prepared me now for what I believe will be a eventual title run. But it was a hard time, man. And to be honest, if I had lost my next fight, I probably would have been cut, and I would have been 23 years old in the UFC, out the UFC, career done. Essentially, in my eyes, that's a life wasted. And man, it would have set me down a really, really bad, really horrible path, which it's even scary to think about the mindset that I was in, to be honest. So after I beat Victor and secured my position in the UFC, I kept winning, but I still felt the pressure of well, if you lose this one, then you'll be 1 and 2 in the UFC, and you're still at chance of getting cut, and you're still a failure if you get cut. And then I won the next one and the next. And then going into my last fight against Slava, I just made a decision. I was like, man, I've got wins in the UFC now. I'm fighting some really cool dudes. Slava's a dude, I watched him for a bit before I was in the UFC. I was a bit of a fan myself, and that was a scary fight. So I just decided I'm just going to go out and have fun and let the results just happen out of looseness, not tension, not going in there thinking all right, let's just get through this 15 minutes and then go celebrate and have fun and, enjoy everything after, but hate the fight. Rather, I want to go out and know that I gave it absolutely everything. So that way, if I do lose, at least I can be well, I gave it everything. You know what I mean?
So I'm curious about your reaction to that one and only loss. You were undefeated prior to that. You lose once, it happens to everyone. And the way in which you're sort of describing it is you went into a real dark place. You're talking about it as a very traumatic event. Why do you think it affected you so much?
Because fighting was my absolute identity. It was who I am. It was absolutely everything to me. Like, it was, man, I would have killed someone to guarantee myself a win in one of my fights. Like, it was absolutely everything. And it's still everything to me now. It's just I have a much healthier relationship with it. It's like, now I kind of want to use it as a way to, I mean, obviously this is how I live, right? This is how I make money, and I love to train, and I love to do this for a job. I love it so much. And my ultimate goal is to be the best in the world. But I just don't think you can do that if you go in there stressing about the win. Like, I saw a video the other day of some athlete. I don't know who she was, but she said, like, if you go out and you win, but you were playing not to lose, did you even have fun? Like, was it even worth it? And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, it's such a good way to put it. It's not really worth it. If you go out there and you're like, all right, let's just get this over with, it's more of a relief when they raise your hand rather than like an actual victory. It's more like, oh, thank God that's over. So after the Slava fight, well, going into the Slava fight, I decided that I'm gonna switch my mindset with that. And yeah, I've had a lot of success with it now.
When did you get into MMA? Like, just as a fan?
As a fan, oh man, I remember sitting in the pub as a young kid, probably like maybe 11 years old, 10 years old, watching fights, watching John Jones and stuff on my phone or on my iPod.
Like, oh my gosh. Like, which fight, like, what era is this? What year is this? So you're 25, that would be 15 years ago. So we're talking like 2010 or so?
Yeah. Anderson Silva. I mean, I remember I actually have a core memory watching Jones versus DC1 at a pub with my dad when I was like really young. I might have been 12 or 13 or something like that. Man, Anderson Silva was my GOAT growing up. I loved him so much. Anderson Silva was awesome.
Wow. And is that like, at what age did you start to say to yourself, you know, I want to try to do this. I want to try to be Anderson Silva?
So I started at 14. And to be honest, man, it wasn't the sport for me. I had a few coaches tell me like, oh man, you know, maybe you should try something else. And at the time I was playing rugby league, which is like a really big sport over here in Australia and New Zealand. And the reason I did it, I was like, oh, well, I want to do something in the off season to help my rugby league career. So as a young kid, I saw jiu-jitsu and I thought, oh, that'll help me tackle someone. You know, I'll use that. It'll keep me fit, whatever. Went in for a bit, was no good, was just absolutely horrible. Quit for a little bit. And then one of the coaches called me up called my mum and said that we had a guy who was competing in the Abu Dhabi World Trials at the time, like in the juniors. And he wanted me to come in and be like his training partner because we got along really well. So I come in and did a bunch of like private sessions with him and the coach, and sort of got through my anxiety and became like able to do it without all the pressure of other people in the room. And then I just stuck with it, man. I went on a tear through the jiu-jitsu scene as a junior in Australia, and then I had my first fight at 14. Then I had my second fight at 14, and then at 15 I made my Eternal MMA debut.
At 15?
Yeah.
As a pro?
No. As an amateur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and you were how old when you made your pro debut? That was in 2020.
20.
So you were 20. Okay, all right. Is there a rule? Do you have to be a certain age to fight as a pro?
I believe it's 18 over here, but we don't have a commission in Queensland, so I don't actually know.
Okay. I also noticed after the win, you appeared to be speaking towards his corner, to Charlie's corner, and it seems like it might have been Joe Schilling that you were talking to, and you said something about your chin. Could you tell us what happened there?
Oh man, it wasn't as bad as what everyone seems. It was just emotions were hot. When Charlie cracked me with that massive hook, and I was like mid kick and sat me down. Like, it was a big shot and it hurt my nose, but it didn't actually like rock me. It was, if you watch it back, it was just after I threw a kick, so my feet went under me. And then his coach was saying some wild stuff about my durability, and then I got straight back up and I was fine. And then obviously I put it on Charlie, and the fight went the way it did. And then after the win, you've got a bunch of adrenaline running through you. I went over to him and I just said to him like, oh, what were you saying about my durability? What were you saying about my chin? And I kind of pointed over, and then he kind of kicked off and wasn't happy. And then I did a lap around the cage, and I saw Charlie sitting on the floor, and like he was real devastated, and it kind of brought me back like to earth. I was like, what am I doing? So I went over and apologized. And then he was waiting for me at the hotel, actually. And
Who was?
we shook hands. Joe.
Joe was, okay. To bury the hatchet?
I think to either bury it or to kind of find out what, his energy was quite intense at the start, but then we spoke about it, and I said, oh man, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have carried on that way, but also, what you said wasn't cool either in the fight. And, we spoke about it, we agreed, and we shook hands, and he congratulated me, and I said thanks. And then the next morning, his team had breakfast while I was sitting with my missus, and nothing happened. It was all fine. So it ended up being okay.
He was looking to have a scrap there for, like, if you would have said the wrong thing, he was ready to go. He's waiting for you.
I imagine so. I mean, I can't confirm. I don't know, but he wasn't happy. That's for sure. But we buried it pretty quickly. He's a big dude, man. I wouldn't want to be fighting that guy.
No, I know. And he's been around the game for a very long time. I was wondering if you were talking to him. It seemed from the camera angle, but I just wanted to clear that up. So I'm glad that you guys are all good now.
Yeah, it's all sorted. It's all squashed. Don't get me killed, please.
No. You seem like a mild-mannered guy. It doesn't look like you're the type to want to fight people in the street.
Oh man, everyone comes from a past. I'm not that guy anymore, that's for sure. Martial arts saved me from all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm not trying to fight anyone, especially I'm walking around with an ice pack strapped to my leg. I just had an actual fight in the UFC. Like the last thing I'm trying to do is fight someone, especially a professional middleweight, light heavyweight, whatever he is. That would be my last thing I want to be doing at that time.
When you say martial arts saved you from that path, what do you mean? Where were you going before martial arts?
As a young kid, man, just, running amok with my friends, just a young lad, just doing stupid things, just trying to. I'm from a small town. You've probably never heard of it. It's called Toowoomba, but it's like, it's 2 hours in from Brisbane, inland in Australia, and like Australia, if you look at my, if you could see right now my view, there's buildings and stuff everywhere. But if you drive 30 minutes out of town, it's just like paddocks and trees and animals, and it's like real country sort of land. And Toowoomba is like just a small town pretty much. There's nothing to do. So, as a young kid, you just run amok and you start doing bad things. And fighting obviously is something that's in my DNA and something I love to do growing up. So when I got into martial arts, your coaches, they pull that out of you pretty quickly. It's like, hey man, if you fight, like you can't train here, you're out.
Well, I'm glad that you went down the right path. I also wanted to ask you about your technique, the submission. Did you see that a couple of days prior on social media and mimic it?
The rear naked?
Yeah. I thought I heard you say that you were looking on social media and you saw something and then you like to look at videos and tried to mimic it. Am I wrong about that?
That was a different tech. That was the spinning back elbow I threw after we got straight back up.
Okay.
I saw a video in, I think it was the PFL, of a guy who was southpaw, and he stepped through with his right leg. He did like the Lerone Murphy feint. He like stepped through with his right leg, and then he spun over the top and absolutely slept a guy. And then when I got back up from Charlie hitting me, we kind of got into a bit of an exchange, and I saw him overreaching with his head to the left. So I threw it, and man, I was millimeters away. I reckon it would have been like a Diego Lopez style knockout. Like it was so close to catching him. But that was one that I just seen it just the other day on the phone, and I was like, oh, when I watched it back, I was like, damn, I was close.
I love that. Yeah. It's amazing like that you guys can take inspiration from these videos and then try to emulate it in a fight. You said afterwards you were going to hit the casino with your bro. How'd you guys do?
Yeah, it was good, man. I went out with a few of my sponsors and friends in that. You never do well at the casino, bro. That's just how it is, isn't it?
There were some. I saw some fans saying that the event was maybe put on the wrong date. It was a big sporting weekend in Australia, and the ticket sales weren't great.
Yeah.
As someone who was there, can you explain to us what went on? Some of the locals were writing to me saying like, it's just they picked the wrong date. It was maybe too expensive. You know the scene, you know the market. What happened there?
Yeah, so the rugby league, what I was talking about earlier, the sport that sort of got me into this originally, it had its like semi-finals weekend, and like it's massive over here. And then there's another sport, Aussie Rules AFL. I'm pretty sure it had its grand final, which is especially in Perth, man. Like Queensland, not as much. Queensland's more like league and stuff, but Perth and WA is huge for the AFL, and that was their grand final. So it was, man, it was a weird fight week. It was like last time here in Perth, the hotels were full of fans, the streets were full of fans. Like it had that real superstar sort of feel to it. This time, man, it was like a ghost town. There was no one anywhere. You could just go walk at any time, anywhere you want, and no one would like recognize you. Nothing. It was really relaxing. To be honest, as a fighter, it was much nicer. But from a fan perspective, it was kind of an eerie feeling all week. I saw they sold the tickets for like $30 US or $40 US at some point, which it ended up packing the stadium out. Like last time when I walked out, it was probably twice as packed this time compared to last time. So there was a lot of people in there, but I think purely because the tickets ended up being so cheap.
Okay. In the end, great fights, great action. By the way, did you happen to see what happened in the Jake Matthews Neil Magny fight?
Yeah, I didn't see the whole fight. I saw a video of Magny, like his arm kind of relaxing, and then the ref like stopping Jake.
And then restarting it, and then restarting it, and then he gets submitted. What do you think should happen there?
I think they should make that a no contest and run it back, just because it's like the ref shouldn't have stepped in. Really, like it's a weird situation for sure. And then Magny come back and ended up winning it, right? Like he did really well.
Yeah, he submitted him, but Jake said afterwards, and I understand, like you think you won the fight, and now your guard is down, right? Like there's like a release, I would imagine. And
yes.
It wasn't seconds later, it was a round and a half later that he lost, but that's a messed up thing. Magny didn't submit, he wasn't out, but also, the fight was stopped, and that's not Jake's fault. So maybe no contest is the most fair thing.
Yeah, remember when Bisping and Silva, this happened, very similar sort of situation, right? And same thing. It looked like he might have had an adrenaline dump when he thought he won it, but then ended up losing. So probably just run it back, to be honest. It's also not really fair on Magny's side too. When you look at it from his perspective, it's like that's pretty shitty. But yeah, I reckon just let the boys scrap again.
Great to meet you. Great to have you on, Tom. Really appreciate it. And thank you for waking up early. It's very kind of you.
Man, I really appreciate you having me on, bro. This has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. So thank you so much for helping me achieve that. It's awesome.
No, it's our pleasure. And thank you for saying that. It means a lot. And thank you to Danny Rubenstein. He's the one who's been banging your drum for a long time now. So this is long overdue. Congratulations on all your success. Congrats on your win. And I know you're getting married soon, right? So congratulations. Good luck with that. Enjoy it. And then we look forward to seeing you back next year to continue that winning streak.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much again.
All the best to you. We'll talk to you soon. There he is, the big train himself, Tom Nolan, kind enough to join us after winning his 4th fight in a row. Wins over Vyacheslav Borshev, as he said, Slava, Victor Martinez, Alex Reyes, Charlie Campbell this past Saturday. Got the performance bonus as well. Looks good. 4 in a row, 25, doing his thing, representing Queensland, Australia. I like it. Actually, I meant to... did I take a screen grab of this? A fan... should have taken a screen grab of this. A nice man sent me a message. Let me see if I could find it here real quick. His name is... because I know this was a big topic of discussion last week, the ticket sales and whatnot. Brad Leem 0 on Instagram. Thank you. Good day, mate. Longtime fan, old-time caller into the Spotify, etc. Thought I'd quickly clear up a bit of the ticket stuff from an Aussie perspective. It was just terrible scheduling. Last week, we had essentially the Super Bowl of Australian sport, AFL Grand Final, long weekend for some states. Essentially a weekend that people plan with friends and family and camping and football-related stuff for months in advance. Parlay that with the fact that Perth is so far away from the main population and it costs a heap, it was never going to sell. And Sydney would have sold prelim weekend for NRL. In Melbourne, where the grand final was, it would have felt like one of the biggest events of the year because of the people and whole sporting nation in Melbourne. Putting it so far so expensive and on probably the biggest sporting weekend of the year was the problem. Putting it in Melbourne on the same weekend, it would have been crazy with the same card. Just an Australian perspective. Cheers, Koba. I wonder if his name is Koba. It seems Brad. I don't know if Koba is a slang, but thank you for that, Brad. And that makes a lot of sense and sort of meshes with what Tom was saying there as well. All right. Great stuff there. Great 6 guests from around the world. Really appreciated everyone's insights. I'm really, I enjoy the shows when we get to meet people for the first time. And, well, Zombie Jr. first time, Tom first time, Benny first time, Mateusz not first time. Who else has been on the show today? Pablo first time. So a lot of first timers. I enjoy that. Someone who isn't a first timer on the program is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, who just tweeted this about one of our clips from the show. This is when Benny was talking about going out and promoting the movie. One of the many reasons I love this man, Benny Safdie. Excited for you all to see and experience our film this weekend. Hashtag The Smashing Machine. Shout out. And I will remind all of you that way back when in 2019, as I was tweeting about the announcement of this film and Dwayne Johnson being involved in the film, I will remind you that Dwayne, several days later, responded very amicably about the coverage. I shot my shot. 3 or 4 or 5 max days later, he was on my program in what he said was his first live podcast interview. It was November of 2019. It was a big deal for us. Massive show back in the ESPN days. I really appreciate that. It was a really, really big moment. And that was some 6 years ago. And so wouldn't it be nice, perhaps even tomorrow on the week in which the show is released, for Dwayne to stop by and talk to us about this film, which we have discussed in such glowing terms. What a glowing review from everyone on the team, including Frank. And so the invitation is extended. The door is open for Dwayne to stop by, perhaps tomorrow to talk about it. I did say that Mark Kerr is going to be on, and there are some things in the works. And if it all comes together, tomorrow will be a great show. So take that hint, and let's see where things go. The hint isn't about The Rock, by the way, but we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you, Dwayne. And if you're in New York, please come by. Stop by the studio. We'd love to have you. If you smell,
that'll do it.
What the Helwani is cooking. Do you think that hurt my chances, Frank?
Maybe if someone clips that off.
But do you think he wants nothing to do with it? Like, do you think he now was thinking about it and now I ruined it?
I think that might be exactly what happened.
Damn it. I always, like, people are telling me, like, oh, Dana extended the olive branch and now you ruined it. Like, I always tend to ruin these things.
Maybe overcorrect,
Oh, what about this tweet? Do we have the infamous there it is, Frank. You were just a neophyte back when this happened. You were in your father's nutsack when
I'm
this
not
happened.
6 years old. Eric.
November 1st, 2019, one of the greatest moments in Twitter history. The Rock's announcement is that his production company will be making a film on Mark Kerr, a.k.a. The Smashing Machine. If you've never seen the doc, do yourself a favor. That's my commentary. 4 days later, Dwayne Johnson, appreciate you, Ariel. He knows who I am. The doc is special, as you know, as is Mark's life and all those very early founding fathers of UFC/MMA that I'll shine a light on. You sure did. And what a great opportunity we have to introduce the Smashing Machine to a whole new generation who don't know who he is. And he did. And look at this. Some moments later, I say, see, I'm consistent, the greatest MMA doc ever, in my opinion. I was trying to play cool, Frank. I was trying to play cool. Very excited to see how you tell his remarkable story. Hey, while I have you, not sure if you know this, but I do a show on Mondays for ESPN, and I'd love to have you on sometime, anytime, to talk about this project and the Calgary Stampeders. He once had a cup of coffee with the Stamps. And then there's the shoot your shot, Steph Curry GIF or GIF. Anyway, moments later, he responds, haha, love that you took your shot. That's how we get shit done. My kind of guy. I'll do your show this Monday. Done. My office will be in touch offline. Do you know what that feeling is like, Frank? Do you know what it's like to shoot your shot and get that kind of reply and then 30 minutes later have an email with a whole breakdown of how this is going to go from his team? Do you know what that's like?
No, sir.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. That was a good moment. So don't you think it would be apropos 6 years later for him to... Should I call him right now?
I think you should.
Yeah, it would be nice. Should I put him on?
Yeah.
I have his
what's the
number.
worst that happened? Did you get his voicemail?
I have his number.
All right, now you're just flexing.
Anyway, Frank, a couple things to discuss before we say goodbye. Did you guys happen to see this tweet from Dustin El Diamante Poirier? Zuffa Boxing, 12 rounds. Me and Nathaniel, I'd do it. Only one more fight I would take. What do you guys think of that? Yay or nay? We signing up for it? Anyone?
Don't care about it in boxing.
In MMA, it would be tremendous.
Like for me, it's like if you're coming out of retirement, I don't care. Like boxing, maybe in Dustin's mind, that feels like a justification to potentially do it as opposed to the MMA side. If you're coming out, just do MMA. Nate versus Dustin, MMA. I'm perfectly fine.
After that giant retirement.
Nah, who cares?
That's a tough thing. Nah.
Nate fight. Only one fight I want.
Not
Do
even a
it.
year
I want to
later.
see the fight. I want it as much as
Down in
Dustin
New
wants it.
Orleans. Smoothie King.
Nah, who cares, bro?
Lil Wayne
Okay.
walking him out.
Here, let me put it to you this way. You have two options. He's coming out of retirement to fight Nate Diaz in boxing, or he's coming out of retirement to fight Nate Diaz in MMA. But he's coming out of retirement either way. Are you going, well, he did the Smoothie King thing, so I really want to see the boxing match just
No,
so
but
he doesn't
there-
ruin
Is he
the...
even coming out of retirement if it's 9 months later?
It's MMA. There is no retirement.
John Jones came out of retirement 2 days later.
There is no retirement. There is never retirement. Vanderlei Silva is getting knocked out after fights in Brazil. Like
There are some people who stay true to it.
Demetrius is like the only one.
Well, for now.
Habib.
He's the only one. Yeah, Habib's a pretty
now.
great example. Demetrius is the only one, though, that like it seems like everybody tries every month to get him out, and he's just like, nah.
I'm good. Are you surprised that he stuck to it?
Who's that?
Habib.
No.
You're not surprised?
He's like, my mom wants me out.
No, I
mean, it was
know, I
pretty definitive. The moment that Dana White said, we're going to get him back, and didn't, I knew that he was never coming back.
Yeah. The GSP one.
The amount of money
there was
they
a
would have
time where I
thrown.
think people thought GSP would be one of those guys. But
That would come back?
That would not come back. Like a Barry Sanders
Kind of
leaves.
hasn't.
Well, he came back once, 4 years
I
later.
know, but that was like a champion. Like, he hasn't.
I mean, he still came back.
There's fights for him now.
Oh, sorry. I was
was
talking
past
about
that.
in between Hendricks.
Oh, never come back after. Nah, I was not one of those people.
Yeah.
He was coming back. But I don't think he'll come back now. Like, it seems like
Chris
it was...
Lytle had a great retirement and didn't come back. Did
Wait,
Chris
what?
Lytle?
Chris Lytle came back.
Did he come back?
Yeah,
for
didn't he fight
BKFC?
for BKFC?
He had a
Yeah.
great retirement fight with Dan Hardy in Milwaukee.
No, Chris Lytle came back. Hold on.
Did?
I want to verify this, though.
Who has the greatest retirement in MMA history?
Habib.
Habib, yeah. Champion.
Yeah, he
retired.
came back for BKFC.
Retired. Never came back again.
It's Habib.
Yeah.
Until
You
him
can't-
versus Islam.
You can't do better than Habib. Like,
70.
everybody wanting you. You're the number one.
By the way,
pound for
John
pound.
Jones
Everybody
would have been that guy. Like, if he would have
If when?
retired the night he beat Stipe, people would have been like, that's a pretty damn good run right there. Double champ, beat a couple guys at heavyweight, at Madison Square Garden. Doesn't get much better than that.
It would have been great. The only difference for me, though, is John is clearly on the back nine, right? Habib could have done it for
Yeah.
5, 6, whatever more years, and he just said, I'm good.
The Khabib one, though, was so... It wasn't out of left field because we knew what had happened to his
Yeah.
dad, but I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting. I don't recall him hinting at this. Did he hint that this might have been the last one
No.
going into the fight? No.
He was very close to the vest around that whole
Yeah.
time because of what was happening with his family. He just like wasn't really talking like that. But then it became.
I do recall for ESPN saying that night in an article that, or maybe it was on SportsCenter because there wasn't a lot going on. It was October of 2020. Yeah, I think it was October of 2020 when he retired. I remember, am I right about that? Let me just get that right. 2020, all right. I remember comparing it to Jordan retiring the first time and the second time, not the third time. But like, it doesn't get more shocking. It doesn't get more on top than that.
Yeah.
In the moment.
If Jordan never came back after the first one, that would have been crazy.
Oh, it would have been awful.
And in retrospect, it's a sport that so many people come back now 5 years later next month. I don't think he's coming back, which makes it even crazier.
I mean, okay, let's see. How old is he right now?
Habib?
37. He could still come back.
He could come back, no problem.
But I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he's coming back.
He's probably gotten...
Does Dustin Poirier fight again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never thought he was really retired.
Really? Even before this tweet?
No, never. If you are out there saying that there's a fight that can get you back, that means that there's more than one fight that can get you back. There's never just one fight. There's a number of fights that can get him back.
Really?
Hey,
like what?
What do you mean? Like, we're gonna give you $50 million to box Conor McGregor in.
Sure. But in terms of like,
you're not retired.
There's only one unsettled rivalry in
that's-
his career.
I guess. Like, what is that? Like a huge rivalry? I don't consider that.
I mean, we've been talking about this fight literally for like,
and it hasn't happened.
Oh, Nate. We also still got to see the Colby fight.
I love the Colby fight, but he'll never do it.
Colby fight means nothing to me.
Oh, it's so good. There's
no
real bad blood.
They're not even in the same weight class.
Perfect.
Stupid.
Make it fair.
I hate that fight. If
Love
he
that
fights
fight.
anyone other than Nate, I get the Nate one. The Nate one is personal. They were supposed to fight. There were accusations made. I get that one. But it is it was the perfect retirement other than the fact that he didn't win. But very few fighters. And by the way, maybe I'm wrong about this. If he did come back so soon, I do wonder if the UFC would ever put on an event like that again. Like in the moment, it's great because you can sell the tickets and people are interested, but then it's a little bit hollow if you come back. Of course, who are we to say? But he had such valid reasons, like such nice personal reasons for saying enough is enough. His family, his health, he's having another kid. I don't know.
If Dustin Poirier was out of contract with the UFC and Jake Paul came knocking, you don't think he'd take that? He'd take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, probably.
He'd take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
So this idea that it's like this one, I don't buy it. If there's one fight that you would come back for, that means you'd come back for more than one. You'd come back for any fight if the stakes were right and if the money was right.
Remains to be seen, but I do think that Zuffa, boxing, Dana White, they want to stay away from this. Like
From what? Like the UFC fighters crossing into it?
Yeah. These types of fights, I don't think are what they want it to be. We're starting to get a little bit more information about all of this. Dana's saying he's not going to recognize the WBC. So we thought that, but he's going to have a Zuffa belt and the ring title. He's going to go by the ring rankings, which I think is interesting because the ring will rank usually the top 10. And a lot of those guys are tied to other promotions. So if you're not going to play ball with them, but you're going to go by the rankings, how is that actually going to affect the matchups that you make? Still, I think a lot up in the air coming off that announcement yesterday regarding the Paramount Plus deal, 5 years. I've heard some numbers. It's a nice dollar amount, no doubt about it. And it's better than the vast majority are getting. Certainly here in North America, I do always feel like it was the natural place for Zuffa Boxing to go. And who knows if it was a package deal, but once the UFC went there and there's this new regime, it just made all the sense in the world. There is kind of one last entity left, and that's Contender Series. That's the one that we still don't know. And I would think that would go to Paramount Plus too, but they haven't announced it. Like, I don't know. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Could it stay at ESPN? Does that make any sense?
I don't think it has a ton of value if it's separated from the rest of the UFC product, in my opinion. I just don't think as fans, like, it's appointment viewing that people are coming over.
I do wonder. We don't know the numbers. Yeah.
I'm sure the numbers are decent. Like, I think Contender Series is probably their most efficient product at this point because it gets viewership and it's easy and it's cheap. But you are already a subscriber to ESPN Plus. You have all the other parts. Then you come for it. I wonder if in a vacuum, now isolated from the other rest of the UFC package, if you're doing that, I just don't think it has a ton of value that way. The same way like Power Slap. If Power Slap's not associated with UFC, if it's not connected to it in some capacity, it might as well not exist. Like, it's just...
It feels like under the TKO umbrella right now, there are 3 entities left that they can do deals for. One would be Contender Series in some way, shape, or form. 2 would be the WWE library. And 3 would be AAA. The Lucha Libre promotion, which now they're putting on YouTube. At least for now, they just bought it couple of months ago, and the numbers do great on YouTube, but I don't think that's where they want it to ultimately be. So it's just amazing how they've been able to divide this stuff up and get these incredible rights deals. 2026 is going to be really interesting. I think 2026, the story going into 2026 was, where's the UFC going to end up? There's some other rights deals coming up, these little nuggets, but then how does it all look? How does it all feel? The Paramount Plus, the CBS component, on the boxing side of things, what happens to Top Rank? I know Matchroom's deal is coming up with DAZN. Like 2026 is going to be a very, very interesting time in the world of combat sports, rights deals, all this stuff and more. I'm just taking a look real quick. I feel like we covered it all. Did we miss anything as far as news and notes? I don't think anything. Yes, they did make the official announcement that John Cena's final match will be taking place in December in Washington, D.C., December 13th to be exact. And this is live on Peacock, Saturday night's main event, no longer on NBC. This was part of the deal in which they did the deal where the PLEs were going to ESPN early, but Saturday night's main event was going to be exclusive on Peacock. Seems like a pretty fair trade, especially when you're getting the final John Cena match. By the way, do we believe this is his final match? I don't believe it.
Ever showing up at WWE?
Final actual match. Not appearance, but match.
Yes.
I don't believe it.
I do.
This is definitely not the last time we'll ever see him, but...
Not last time see him, but just final match. That's what they've been billing it as.
Yeah, I think so.
He's so successful outside the ring. Like, it just wouldn't make sense.
And The Rock had like a 10-year hiatus.
Okay, so does that count? Are you saying like in 10 years down the line when the world is completely different, then maybe, I don't know.
They're billing it as the last match.
Yeah, then probably. Like The Rock was the example I was going to use. I don't really consider that like a comeback, right? He was kind of just like checking in.
Match.
That's fine then. Then if
he might headline
that,
WrestleMania 43 or whatever it is in Riyadh.
How old is The Rock?
He's getting up there. 50-something?
I mean, he looked like freaking $1 million in the Smashing Machine, I'll tell you that. The physique on that
53.
guy.
53, yeah. Every time, wait, what is it? 1 second. Every time I see these big announcements.
John Cena 48, not that far behind.
Yeah.
Last match.
I don't think he'll do anything significant, basically.
You don't?
In the ring, no. He'll be around WWE. He loves it so much, but I just don't think he'll do anything like in the ring significant.
How old is it? I think I just looked this up and I didn't.
48?
48, yeah. I have to say, never talked to John. We've never had him on the show, never had a chance to interview him. There's some moments there. Like, did you guys see that clip of him on Part of My Take? And
no, I did not.
And then there's another one of him on the red carpet. Part of My Take asked him a question about, I guess there was a rumor at one point that he had COVID and died or something, and then they just like played it up like, hey, did you ever think of prolonging it just so you can like witness your own funeral and see all of these people saying nice things? And John handled it so well and said, a friend of his just passed away, and that's not really something he's interested in doing. Like he always comes across as so incredibly thoughtful and classy. I was never a huge fan of his wrestling, and it was kind of in an era where I didn't watch as much as maybe I do now, or I followed a little bit later when my kids got older. But he always comes, him and The Rock, I think always come across as so thoughtful and empathetic and classy in their interviews. I at least think that so. I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I saw another clip of The Rock on the red carpet with his daughter. Just, I don't know.
I feel the same way.
They seem to handle themselves really, really well in these moments.
I don't think it's an accident from what you hear about them interacting with fans as well. They're very thoughtful in their interactions with them. I think they have seen the business from the bottom, and now they see it from the top, and they appreciate that perspective and what they were able to do. It's a unique thing. Like a John Cena, a Rock, how many people can say they climbed to that height, right?
Yeah.
You're talking Hogan, you're talking Stone Cold, guys like that. Like there's not a lot of them that have got as big as those two. They've got full Hollywood careers. Like they've done everything. So it is nice, as you said, to see them have that kind of like thoughtfulness and that appreciation and that perspective.
It's like I always say to Frank, don't forget to send the elevator back down when you make it to the top.
Yeah.
And they seem to be doing that. All right. It's been a great day. It's been a fantastic day with fantastic guests. We have a show tomorrow, same time and place. We'll answer your questions. Mark Kerr will be on the program. David Feldman in studio as well, the founder of BKFC. They have a huge show on Saturday, headlined by Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens. and others. That's at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, and some other things in the works, at least for now. Let's see how it all plays out. Stay tuned. It could be big time stuff. It could not be. You get the music. Sometimes you're quick on the draw, sometimes you're not.
I don't know if you know. We have a director right here. I follow her lead.
Who hits the music? You or Andy?
I do, but I follow Akio.
Padres up 1-0. I'm so into soccer. I say nil these days when it pertains to other sports, baseball,
soccer. Huh?
That's right. Looking forward to it. Question for On Air Jordan, or is he not by the microphone?
I'm here.
Okay. What time is the Jays game tonight?
You know they don't play till next week. I told you that enjoy your ALEs. I said this for like 3 months ago.
Yeah, you did say it.
Come on.
You did say it.
Came down to the final day.
Not even sure if the Yankees are going to make the playoffs.
Yankees won 94 games.
Do you think they will beat the Red Sox?
Honestly?
Yes. Are you rooting against them?
No, of course not.
Okay,
I think this is the year that Aaron Judge finally takes off in October.
You think they win it all?
Well, I mean, I think they'll make it past the Red Sox.
Could you imagine? Red Sox
Let's take it game
Jays.
by game.
Yeah. What is it? This is a 3-game series, right?
Best of 3, yeah. Humble and hungry,
Yep, like Coach McDermott says. And where are we playing? Are we playing in Boston or New York?
Bronx. We're heading up there, aren't we? You and I?
Are you going?
I'm trying to convince my buddies to go, and they're like,
that'd be
I got family stuff.
Yeah, the Bronx Zoo.
If it's Blue Jays Yankees, are you all gonna go?
Hell yeah. I'm going to throw a first pitch.
Last time I went to a Blue Jays Yankees game, me and Ariel saw each other.
Yeah, we weren't working together, but now we are. Mateusz Gamrot, Pablo Sucupira, Amir Khan, Benny Safdie, Tom Nolan, JooSang Yoo. Thank you. Back tomorrow, same time. Peace.